Getting started streaming. I'm waiting for the streaming. It's thinking about it. You can go ahead. It's recording, so yeah.
All right, everyone, it's 3 o'clock. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you can all stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just as a reminder, if you guys can silence your phones, this is the time. We'll go ahead and have roll call. So in attendance, we have Bob, Doug, myself, Ed, and Carol. I need approval for the final agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Local achievements and recognitions, did we get any emails, anything? No? Okay. Public comment.
All right, I have a lot.
Perfect. So
I
just
have-
as a reminder.
I
you-
have two that are in person. None of the public comment is agenda related. It's all non-agenda. We have two in person and a bunch of ones I'll have to read. You guys will be sick of listening to me, so.
So then let's start with the reading ones.
Want to do the reading ones first? Okay. Oh, admit. All right, the first one is from. This is Teresa. Yep, Teresa Nelson. This statement is intended for the May 21st, 2026 Board of Supervisors meeting. My issue of public comment is regarding the FPL transmission line project that will run along Gateway neighborhoods, destroy the tree buffer, kill wildlife and birds, and will negatively affect the total linear park amenity. The community was notified in March of this project. Now is the time for action. We need direct and ongoing communication with Michelle King, the FPL project manager. We need to keep all buffer trees possible along the communities. We need FPL to use arborists and directional pruning. Clear cutting through the heart of Gateway should not be an option. We will not get another chance to protect what we can from bulldozers and clear cutting. This Gateway-owned property is an artery of green and enjoyment to hundreds of residents. The new Commons Park is sure to bring more users. I implore the Gateway Board of Supervisors to direct immediate attention to this matter. This is an asset that we will never get back. Thank you for your service and the opportunity to submit this comment. Sincerely, Teresa and Terry Nelson.
Thank you.
This one is from,
And I have, we can make copies if you'd like.
actually, I'll put that one, it's not the same. This is an FPL one too. Noreen Jadini. I live here in Hampton Park, which is part of the Gateway community. I would like to voice my concern that the trees, shrubs, and other greenery in the proposed area of the new electric towers might be removed to excess. I don't disagree with updating the electric grid to service the community, but would ask that care is given to only remove the plants that are in the direct pathway of the towers to be installed, and attention given to preserve as much of the plants as possible. Thank you for your time and attention. Best regards, Noreen Jadini. This is the same one, Terry Nelson. It's the same. It's the same one I just read. All right, and this one's from Tim Miller. This is not regarding the FPL. I'm submitting public comment for tomorrow's meeting regarding the district's budget and the need for fiscal responsibility with field management software. The district currently uses Facilitron, which charges a 10% commission. While the big selling point for Facilitron is that it brings in new revenue, Gateway's top 4 renters are the exact same local groups that were here before the software was adopted. It hasn't generated significant new business, yet the 10% fee becomes highly burdensome as rates grow. In fiscal 23, it cost the district $8,000. Over the last 2 years, that cost doubled to $16,000 to $17,000 annually and will keep climbing. To stop these compounding costs, I asked the board to review 2 modern, cost-effective alternatives, RecDesk and Sports Key. Switching would also have no upfront cost, save the district at least $10,000 plus a year, and offer major advantages. 1, flexible payments. Sports Key allows software fees to be deducted directly from booking revenue as transactions occur, avoiding a flat commission on total growth. And 2, utility savings. Sports Key integrates with field lighting to automatically turn lights on and off based strictly on active reservations, eliminating human error and lowering electric bills. In the interest of fiscal responsibility, please formally review these alternative platforms to optimize district operations.
Who was that from?
Tim Miller.
Oh, that was from Tim.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant sports key. I wrote that down.
All right. And then I have 3 in-persons, and all of these, again, are non-agenda items. First up is Charles, how is your last name? Schaefer, okay, he lives on Bellcrest regarding the FPL transmission lines update. If you want to come up and you state your name for the record, and just a reminder that you have 3 minutes, and there'll be the little light here, it'll flash yellow, and you got to wrap it up and red when you're done. And I'll start your time as soon as you announce your name.
Hey, Charles Schaefer, 10275 Bellcrest Boulevard. Good afternoon, Supervisors. We are requesting an update regarding the Florida Power and Light transmission lines. We've reached out to the FPL. We're getting nowhere with them. And we've spoken to Tiffany. Again, she only gave us limited information. They're saying that this project is just beginning and they have no information to provide. I find that hard to believe as long as it takes to get these projects approved before they start. And I'm also concerned that since we've been notified back in February, us and the CD together, no information has been available to anybody. So we're hoping that the CDD is trying to at least get hold of FPL, talk to somebody, get some type of conference going here where we can get all the other communities, not just Hampton Park, but the other communities that are involved. Get everybody together, get the correct information out there, and so we can continue on. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Jerry Knapp regarding pickleball noise, and I believe this coincides with the handout that you were given.
I'd like to,
If you could state your name for the record, please.
Jerry Knapp, and I too am from Hampton Park. I too have concerns that in regard to the FPL new power lines, et cetera. We have spoken to Tiffany and her mother, and again, we don't have much information either. We happen to live right on the power line, right adjacent to the Calusas, and this kind of ties in with my real concern today is the pickleball noise. I don't know, this is my 3rd time coming to you. Each time I have come, went home with no information. I am really becoming concerned about what is going to be done to eliminate or reduce the pickleball noise that's going to be inherent with 12 courts right next to the guard shack. That pickle noise is going to be a problem. It's going to be audible, by my estimate, in at least 50 homes. That's both on Walden Lake side and on the Hampton Park side. There are 4 streets that are headed west in Hampton Park. It will be in direct, we'll be able to easily audibly hear the pickleball courts. This problem can be corrected quite easily, and probably on Belcourt, I don't know what your address is, but I can kind of tell you if you're within that 100-foot area, you're going to be able to sit down in your lanai and listen to pickleball. And the more pickleball players, the more problem it's going to be. You're not only going to hear the pickleball, click, 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 you're going to hear the people with their exclamations of joy or disappointment. So my wife and I are 81 years old, and we don't have a lot of time left, and we would like to stay here. We've been in Gateway for 18 years, and we'd like to stay here. But we spend a lot of time outside, and I don't want to get up in the morning and listen to the birds and have my cup of coffee, listen to pickleball. You haven't given me any information on can you address this? Can somebody talk to the people who are building this and say, would you please put some noise barriers in? If you have noted, I'm an audiologist and I have 44 years experience in noise. So I'm just not making this up. We are going to If you can put some noise barriers in there, that will almost, in my opinion, eliminate the problem for almost everyone. But we pass it every day, and they're starting the pickleball court construction now, and it's right up against the barrier, right up against the wall. So if you have to put a wall in, if you want to try to put a noise reduction wall in,
Thank
you're
you.
not going to have any room.
Thank you.
Could I ask him a question?
Can we have all them come in? I'm writing it down because I do have to. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for your comment. But yes, Carol.
Thank you.
All right, last up is Cheryl Malaterno regarding the dog park. Same deal, please just announce your name for the record and then I'll start your time.
Cheryl Malaterno. I'm here to ask about the dog park. We received some rumors yesterday that the dog park is sundowning, that you're not planning on putting any more money into the dog park, which I totally agree. The dog park doesn't need any more money. I'd like to know when the new dog park will be available to us, please. And also, the owners wanted to know what's going to be with those who have renewed their passes and have paid the fees if you close this dog park to put in the parking lot. So I would really like to know so I could go back to them. Since moving to Gateway, I have become the liaison for the dog park, unfortunately. And Kerry Runyon has been absolutely fantastic in handling all our concerns. But it's gotten to the point now where my group is 2:30 to 4:30. We stack the chairs on Wednesday so that Mainscape can mow. Unfortunately, others come to the dog park after us and leave the chairs in disarray. Yesterday, I was at the dog park and I watched. There was one chair that was overturned, and Mainscape did not remove the chair or lift the chair to mow. So, and also, there's no dirt to fill in the holes. We were given the opportunity to fill in the holes, but there's no dirt to fill in the holes. And I have a very large dog, and when she goes to the bathroom, I pick it up. And next to hers is others. So there are a lot of people that do not pick up after their dogs. So I just would like to know what the plans are for the new dog park and when you're planning on closing this one. Thank you.
Carol. Have any more?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
That's all I have? Perfect. So I will start with you, Carol, because I have some questions too, or kind of just some rebuttals on some of the comments and questions, but you can
I
go ahead
just
and.
wanted to ask Jerry, if you could come up to the microphone, please? What kind of barrier are you talking about? What do you have in mind?
Pickleball noise has been a problem all across the nation, and there are a number of companies that build pickleball court walls and noise reduction barriers, et cetera. That's not my job. But we need one. At least between the areas that are going to hit the 50 houses, we're going to have the problem. So if we put a barrier on the western side and on the eastern side, that probably would take care of a lot of the issues.
So you're looking for a physical wall or a
Yes.
physical structure of some sort?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not looking for plants or
Well, if the plants are kind of relevant to.
berms?
Huh?
You're not looking for a berm
No,
or plants
you
or
need
anything
to
like
have
that?
a noise reduction wall.
Noise reduction wall. And how tall are those?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
I thought maybe
Well,
being in the business,
it
you
would
would know.
definitely be
Okay,
essentially as
'cause
tall
I
as
don't
the
either.
fence, or like for example, like a tennis area fence.
You're talking about like a wind fence?
What, pardon
A
me?
wind fence? Wind screen?
Yeah,
Because
possibly,
over at
but
the
it's.
country club, they have a wind screen around the
Right.
the pickleball courts.
Okay, yes.
That
2.5.
knocks down the noise, but
Oh,
it
I-
certainly doesn't eliminate
Well,
it.
I agree, but that windscreen can be, you could have put a noise reduction material on that windscreen. This is as I say, this is happening all over the country, so the answers to your questions are there, I just don't have them.
Thank you.
Jerry, real quick, because I can't recall off the top of my head, the distance that you've calculated between where the pickleball courts are and the closest house is how far?
No, well, I calculated it by, you can see in the notes, it's how sound travels and how much it reduces over distance.
I'm just curious, what's
Yeah,
the feet?
I drew a 1,000-foot circle around or a 1,000-foot radius around the pickleball courts. And that impacts about 50 homes on the Walden side and on the Hampton side.
50 homes fall within the 1,000 feet radius?
Right, and no, I'm not a surveyor. I'm not a surveyor, I'm an audiologist, so I don't.
We got you.
I got it, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right, so I want to take this opportunity to just go over a few things. I think it will be best if we can take the emails that we receive and forward it to our contact on FPL.
Yep. We can
I'm
do
a
that.
I don't want to assume that the people that send the information to us, because that's who they should be contacting, doesn't mean that we're not listening to them. So I think if you could follow up with the 3 emails that you read, let them know you're forwarding them to Tiffany, right? Because that's our contact.
Tiffany and Tina both, yes.
Sounds great. I want to also get some clarification. When were we notified of this project?
At the same time as everybody else, via
The
the
letter-
letter,
the letter.
March, yes,
So the
Okay.
letter that the owners got is the letter that we received.
correct.
Because they got it as soon as February, because I do recall this, them receiving the letters, and then a few days later, we got the letter. So the residents of Hampton Park were notified first. Because I really want to take this opportunity once more to clarify some things. And I've been receiving some phone calls, and I know we have somebody here from Hampton Park too, that if it's appropriate, I would like to ask some questions and get some clarifications. So we were notified by FPNL after the residents of Hampton Park were notified, and immediately after, Chelsea did notify us at the board meeting. Okay, and then I will say kudos to the resident of Hampton Park, the lady that came in immediately after receiving and was concerned. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yes,
So
Mrs.
from
Nelson?
correct. So she was the one that came in right away, and then eventually, I guess some noise was made within their HOA. Because I specifically asked her to, thank you for telling us, now please let your HOA know, find out what is your HOA going to do for a while, we find out what we're going to do in our end. So everybody's going to be working at the same time. Your HOA works on it, we work on it, and we wait for FPL to tell us what are they doing. So I want to make sure that we're really clear. There were some comments made out there saying that we were not being transparent with this particular issue. And I take that to heart because I was on the phone with Chelsea until 11:30 last night. And it was just not a one-off phone call. It's multiple phone calls about this, right? We're just not getting the answers from FPNL. Do I know why we're not getting the answers? No, I do not. I think they're holding it back. It's irrelevant. We're just not getting the answers. So from the day one, when that resident came in, we as a board stated, we'll do anything to assist you. I said I make myself available for a meeting, a Zoom meeting, a call, this board will make it, we'll make Chelsea available. So I want to make sure that that's really clear out there because the Winks did reach out to me. I did tell them the time that I was available. They did not follow up with the phone call. So I don't want this to be a one-sided conversation. And I know, I want to do what's best for the residents. And there's just a lot of information going out there. And I just want to make sure that when we are pushing out information, we're pushing out the correct information. And we are partners for Hampton Park as much as we are partners for Gateway and Pelican and so forth. So we are here to aid them, but our hands are tied to some extent. There are things that we can't do. I did have a phone call this morning with one of the residents that were informed me, and which I did read on the email, that they threatened to turn off the transponders so the transponders that we have on our vehicle to be able to assess the community via the gate, so the gate would automatically open. So
This is at Hampton Park.
Hampton Park, yes.
And for district vehicles.
For district vehicles. So this happened, I think, a few months back for a different reason, and Tony opined on that, and Tony can opine on it again today. what I think is extreme disservice to those residents. Because for us, meaning for our staff, it's 3 or 4 more minutes inside of an air conditioner vehicle, just waiting, right? But for that resident that's having an emergency, that's having a sewer break at 2 in the morning, they're doing the disservice. So I just want to understand that it's not punishing us, it's punishing our own residents by delaying us the ability to serve them. So I think that's really important. And I know emotions get out there and sometimes we tend to say things, but we have to be really careful how we say it and what we say it and really look for partnership to get things resolved. So my biggest thing is Hampton Parks were notified prior to us. We were notified after, and the board was immediately notified, and the board unanimously gave direction to staff to go ahead, find out, make, any of us, I said, I'll make myself available to go ahead and to do this. We don't have the information from FPL. We don't have the information from FPL. That doesn't mean that we cannot continue to push for it. And then in regards to the sound barrier, I think we did talk about the first time that the gentleman came here, which I forgot your name, the shrubs, it was something that we were looking into it, that we, I think, agreed that we'll do it. In regards to a hard wall, there is a height restriction underneath FPL. So 14 feet is the highest you're going to be able to go. And I don't even know if building a structure of such kind, and I guess Tony can opine on that, it's something that can be done. When I think about a barrier wall, I think of Hampton Park 82, I'm sorry, Stony Brook's Village, and 82. So we have that huge wall, it's like 30 feet tall. So that it will be a no, just because there are restrictions with that. But I
You
think.
mean for sound?
For sound,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
because it just, and then Tony can opine on that. But I know that we do have a restriction within the 14 feet, nothing higher than that. But I know we talked about shrubs. I don't know specifically what shrubs we'll be using, but it's something that we'll be looking into it.
The thing you want to do on that noise that we found out over at the country club is going at a distance away from the court and attempting to put a barrier is not successful. We have community Hampton Greens south of our two pickleball courts, maybe 150 feet, and we have 10-foot high calusas, solid calusas, and the people on the other side are complaining. So what's happening is that noise is just going outside the courts and going above the calusas. My opinion is if you're going to do noise abatement, you're going to have to do it right at the court and do it fast.
Yeah,
To
what
try
I
to
s-
keep the noise down, which gets back to why I asked the gentleman about the windscreens. I know we have windscreens at the club, but to my knowledge, they're not treated. So I'd be interested to find out if there is a windscreen. The thing is, when you get a windscreen and you treat it, you're losing the purpose of the windscreen. You're trying to cut down the wind with that screen, not stop it. Because what it's going to do is just going to blow that thing all over the place. So what is the product that they're using possibly around these courts that would try to buffer that sound before it gets outside the court? That's the key. Going outside, building a wall, I think is a waste of money.
I mean, what I've seen in some of these locations is a hedge barrier around the perimeter with windscreen with like a podocarpus or something that provides some height.
Immediately after, right?
And you can, yeah, immediately outside the fencing, and you plant it so it is somewhat dense. I agree with you, Ed. The best sound dampening is at the point of where the sound can deflect and be muffled or buffered in that area. So I don't know, I was trying to find the plans for that. If we have any leeway of being able to put some type of vegetation buffer at the fence grade. Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is, and there's got to be some out there. We're not the first ones with it, but I recognize it's a serious, serious problem, and we need to commit that we're going to fix it.
Well, it could
Whatever
be.
the fix is required.
Walden Lakes is in my community, and I haven't had a complaint from anybody in Walden Lakes. But Walden Lakes has got two things going for it. Three things, really. First of all, you got the building that we're building, which is in the way. You've got the road, and then we have a wall.
Yeah.
So, but I still go back, just from my experience with, at the country club with the courts. To me, the buffering has got to be at the point of the noise.
There's got to be engineering
It's gotta be
solutions.
right
We're not
at the
going
court.
to solve that
And this isn't a
today.
new,
But let's
new
just get
thing,
it.
right? I mean, pickleball's been around for a while, and what I would like to see is, and I know that staff, and Chelsea, you have taken this seriously, and you have been looking at options, but what I would hate to happen is we launch, we have a great amenity, something that is, you know, that the community will use, and that gets undermined by negative feedback, even if it's 10 or 20 homeowners.
Well, now's the
And
time
we
to
only
do
have
the
to- Because
investigation.
you're talking about, like, even 50 homes within 1,000, 800 to 1,000 is that kind of the outskirts buffer of, you know, so if you can eliminate those 200 feet to fall more than 4 to 5 to 4 to 6, we'll be safe there. So we just need to be able to buffer, what, 10 or 15 decibels, maybe 20 at the most.
There's gotta be engineering
in order
data out
In order
there,
to
Doug.
just pull it in a little bit,
Even 12.
you know.
And that is correct. The Calusas or the
Do you want to come up to the mic? Because otherwise we won't be able. No, it's okay.
You're correct that the Calusas have to be right up against the fence, and they have to be dense, or the wall needs to be up against the fence. You can't be farther away, or the sound is already dissipated.
It'll
Yeah,
buffer
yeah.
over it.
Perfect. So I guess we're all in line with the direction that you're getting
We need to
in.
be,
That
we need to
was-
be looking at something that's
But that's-
right around the site itself that would basically isolate that from anything else.
She has a problem resolution right here. Go ahead, tell her that it's already there.
Last time Jerry came, you directed us to
Thank you,
look
ma'am.
into this. There are noise barriers. The pickleball courts are already going to be fenced in, so noise barriers to install on the fence that is immediately surrounding the pickleball courts. We took preventative action and worked with the sheriff's office, and I met the captain or the commander at the time at the house and took decibel readings with their decibel reader. So we had a basic of, here's our starting, there's, you know, there was some construction going on, so we had a starting of what the basis would be. And then once the pickleball courts are up, we'll know what the impact was. There is a small green space buffer zone that has the opportunity to put additional plantings in there. There is perimeter landscaping planned around the exterior of the building. It's a landscape buffer, just like everybody else. When you construct, you have to do a landscape buffer around your site. So all of those things are already in play, no pun intended. But if there are additional items like a wall you want us to consider, then that would require a development order amendment.
I don't think we're there yet with a wall. I think, to Jerry,
Well-
to your point, is
We're trying to solve a problem that's already been solved.
That's
Somebody
what-
out there knows what to do.
There are noise
Let's
bar-
engage them and come with solutions.
The noise noise
That's
barriers
however
is,
it works.
Okay.
I think the takeaway
so
here, Jerry,
maybe
is
we could
the multiple times that you've been here, staff has gone back, we've done due diligence. I don't know if it's been updated in any actual plans, but what Chelsea is saying is we've looked at fencing, vegetation adjacent to, and then there are other secondary buffering opportunities. So I understand your concern. I think what I'm hearing is staff is doing everything to adjust it from launch, and then it's something we will monitor and have capability to and continue to enhance if we have to drop, 7, 10 decibels, post go live. So I feel confident that staff has got some solutions in place. We won't know exactly.
Who is staff?
the
oh.
staff.
I'll say our staff,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
That we'll have solutions in place. And if we do need to make some modifications, because again, you're not talking about trying to reduce 30, 40 decibels.
No.
If we go with what I think staff is going to put in place, I believe that will solve the problem. But even if there is some slight modifications, you're only talking about probably maybe 7 to 10 decibels at the most, which will put you about in conversational range, acceptable conversational range, 40 to 52, or maybe it's 45 to 55 conversation. So I think you'll be okay. Yeah, well. Yeah. So I think we're in good shape, but it's not something we will forget.
I just want to make sure that we.
Madam Chairman, maybe
Yes.
we could put this under agenda management so that we don't lose this
Oh, yeah, that's
as a topic. and have it on a report,
follow-up.
maybe at the
I think it
next
should go
meeting
under
or.
Under
a,
Parks
I think it
and
should go
Rec.
under a
Follow
park,
up under
park
that.
phase, whatever, our punch list. I think, so, yes, agenda management, but I think that agenda management should be a punch list for our park site, because we're going to have other things that will come up that we need to keep an eye on as well.
I'd like to have our consultant furnish Chelsea an aerial photo, detailed aerial photo of the area of the pickleball courts, so that we can see just exactly what we've got to work with as far as buffering.
And recommendations.
My understanding is right now, buffering to the west is going to be minimal. It's buffering to the east, which would be basically more advantageous to Hampton Park.
Yep.
That's what I'd like to see, is what do we have in the way of space that we could put something? Because like I say, I think if you go out very far from the court and invest in walls and hedges and that, you might as well go out and burn the money.
Well, and what I'd like to
'cause it's
see
not gonna
too,
work.
and I think Jerry's probably already done this, is from the point of origin, a 1,000-foot radius around, so we know what potentially might fall within, if we do nothing, at normal noise would carry 1,000 feet. And then we can look at 1,000, 800, 600. I think once you get to like 600, you should be,
If you're able to drop it at the source by 12 decibels, your problem's solved.
You're gonna be solved.
I've just been concerned because it seems like there was absolutely nothing happening, and.
well, that will be the last pieces to go in too, is the landscaping.
Yeah.
But what's gonna be important there is, in order for a landscaping buffer to take full effect, it has to mature somewhat. So either we have to maybe spend a little more and get a little more larger gallon or more mature podocarpus or whatever, or there's going to have to be a little bit of patience in our residents to let that vegetation grow.
What's the distance? The first houses in Hampton Park that I understand are impacting would be on Astor Place, correct? Astor Place is probably
Astor
the
Place
first,
and
the road parallel.
the next one,
Yeah.
actually, that curve, can I?
But my point is that those houses, if you take the ones clear at the end of the cul-de-sac, which are right at the FPL easement, the FPL easement's 660 feet wide. So we're 660 feet just to get across to the park.
That's correct.
And we're another probably a couple of hundred feet to get to the courts. So we're.
Oh, no. I understand what you're saying, but the courts are right at the easement.
No, they're not.
They're not. That's what I was gonna
That's
say,
what
yeah.
I didn't think they were.
Okay,
That's why I want an aerial photo showing me exactly what we've got, so we know
have
what
it.
that is.
Okay, so let me wrap this up because it's 3:30. So we do have the latest. So Chelsea, if you want to email it to us, that'll be great. If you want to email it to Jerry, fine with that as well. So at least we know.
Make sure we're measuring
Recapping
from
it-
the right place.
Recapping it, shrubs are something that go in. If it, like to Doug's point, if it's shrubing, it's a smaller, because it's more cost effective. Calusias is a great example. We planted about 3 gallons and they are 6 feet tall, and that's a year. So that's, let the landscaper decide what's best for that. But thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Would suggest that you Google noise management and you'll find.
We'll have somebody
all kinds
look
of
into it,
companies
yeah.
that know exactly what to
Thank you.
do and how well it's more effective.
All right.
The first home seems to be maybe maybe slightly outside the 800 feet mark.
Okay, and then just not to leave Cheryl out of it, so I guess I'll give you an answer since you got a half an hour in here, right? So we did talk, the only thing that I remember, Chelsea, we said that we stopped issuing dog parks, right, already? Was that the last meeting or the meeting before? Or that's what the direction that we're going to do?
We didn't decide.
Okay.
The board decided we were sunsetting the fun park. That was decided at the last meeting. You tasked staff to go back and get costs of moving the dog park to the fun park.
Fun park.
And we're working on those numbers to bring those back to you at the next meeting.
Good? Okay.
So either way, there was brief discussion about either, I think to address Cheryl's point is, if we do sunset it within somebody's time frame, to either give them a refund or pick a date that we're going to sunset and then not renew any from that date moving forward. So
Yeah.
we will make sure that that gets communicated
Yes,
out.
Laura?
Eric Fye is online from Touch Tech. He does have his hand raised, so I don't know if he had a comment about maybe the.
Probably the
stuff.
landscaping, let
Yeah.
him have it. Let
Go
him
ahead.
have it.
Yeah, good afternoon, Eric Fye, for the record, Tetra Tech. If you want to look at the aerial, I have Google Earth pulled up and put 1,000-foot radius on there. I also have the master site plan if you want to look at this now. Otherwise, I can email this to Kelsey.
Eric, yeah, email it to me, please, and we can,
Is there a way to put it on the screen?
if you want to discuss it right
Yeah, I'd
now.
like to see what he's talking about so that I know if somebody else asks where we're at. Obviously, we've already got a discrepancy that one person thinks it's someplace else than where it is actually located. So if he's got an aerial photo that shows it specifically with the 1,000-foot circle would be very interesting to see.
Eric will let you share your screen.
Okay. It's grayed
As I
out.
say, it's a 1,000-foot circle is one huge area.
I stopped sharing mine, so let me know if it'll let you share yours. It may not because of the way the meeting is set up.
Yeah, it won't let me. It's grayed out. I'm not able
Okay.
to click that button.
All right.
So
Just get
I'll
it
email it
to
to
us.
Kelsey.
Okay.
Yeah, take some screenshots and just send it to us.
So just,
I'd like to
just so
see-
everyone is clear, the court that is most abutting the edge of the property is the basketball courts. And then moving
That's
in,
what I thought.
the basketball court, singular, I'm sorry. And then it goes to the pickleball, and then the padel, and then the bocce. So,
So the closest thing to have impact is the guardhouse at Hampton Park. That's the closest thing. And then our own office. And then you get either the end of the cul-de-sacs at Astor Place, across the FPL easement, which is 660 feet itself, or you go across Gateway Boulevard into Walden. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to see those measurements. Yes.
Your answer, but you really didn't clarify. When is the dog park closing?
We don't know. It
That's-
has not been determined yet. There has been some discussions of relocating. That decision has not been made. The only decision, per Chelsea, what you just stated, the only decision that has been made is the fun park is to be sunset. There would no longer be a functioning park. That is the location that is under consideration. Staff is doing due diligence to determine cost to relocate the dog park, timing of that. So as of right now, correct me if I'm wrong, the existing dog park has no sunset date. It will remain open and active until a further time when we make a decision on either sunsetting it and relocating it. So as of right now, there is no impact to the dog park as of today.
the board has not even decided to actually construct the parking lot yet.
Well, there were so many rumors circulating.
That's how it goes.
Tell me about it. All the dogs were talking.
Well, short of me bringing up my dog here to play here,
Right?
I need that dog park.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're all set, right? So let's move on to number 7.
Move to approve and receive the reports from the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee and Pelican Preserve Advisory Committee.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Move
Approve.
to approve the minutes of March 17th, 2026. March 19th, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Or no consent agenda.
I know, so district
a
engineer,
first.
I know.
Eric, Steven's out, so Eric's going to take the district engineer update, and I will assist if need be.
Sounds like a plan.
I have it up for you in a second here.
Oh. There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Laura.
Now I can see it.
All right, good afternoon again. On the irrigation enforcement improvements, we've addressed all RAIs from the funding agencies, and Chelsea's working with FPL on extending the agreement. FY25 Lake Bank construction management. Contractor is substantially complete except for littoral plantings. So that Met Tower still needs to install those littorals and continue watering them. Lake Bank Restoration, HMGP, we submitted 100% plans and are awaiting RAIs from the funding agencies and from Lee County. on Pelican Preserve Boulevard, Mill and Overlay. Bids are due May 27th. So next Wednesday will be bid opening. Sherman Soccer Complex parking expansion. We are awaiting final design on the stormwater treatment system. We need survey to get the existing grades on some hand augers that had to be done to demonstrate infiltration rate. And once that's received, those RAIs will be fully addressed, and we should be able to move into the bid phase in a couple of months.
Is there is it a question on that really quick? That we had talked at the last meeting that there would be an advantageous opportunity to try to do this work over the summer. It's the timing of least impact. That's dependent really on just the permitting, correct? Permitting and bidding process. Is that at this point being May 21st, is that still viable, or what is the date of, okay, that's not under consideration anymore. Does that get us like middle of June? I don't know what the turnaround time on that would be and the duration of what we consider summer season.
Probably not this summer, because we don't know how long it would take for the permitting, the county and the South Florida permits. But if running a hypothetical, let's say if we got the permits by the end of June, bidding is at least 30 days. So we'd be looking at the end of July. You all would have to approve the contract. Contractor would have to mobilize. So either way, we're pushing into the fall season.
And it's probably not ideal to have that construction happening during seasons. Or would it have little impact because it's a non?
We would have to talk to the contractor and look at the timing. I mean, ideally, yeah, we'd like to do it during the summer shutdown, but if there would be minimal impacts to the existing parking lot, yeah, we'd want to try to get it up and running as soon as possible.
Yeah, the reason why I ask is if we miss this summer window, are we
would,
is it next summer will be the next viable time period versus another time period during the year? Because if it impacts any of the other parking areas, that would put us at risk.
Yeah, so ideally, we would push it to next summer, if anything. Unless we talk to the contractor, once awarded, that they could do it with minimal impacts to the existing site.
All right, go ahead.
All right, moving on to Public Works built storage building relocation. This is the location south of where you're sitting. We have already responded to all RAIs and should be receiving approval shortly, although we did have a surprise comment generated, a new comment that we're trying to get removed. So that could delay us a little bit, but I think we can get that resolved. It was related to a fire hydrant location. So if we work through that, we should have permits in the next couple of weeks and move into the bid phase. Gateway Commons and admin building construction is progressing at a higher pace now. I don't know if any of you have seen the drone images of recent construction, but OAK just provided those this week. Chelsea has them if you all want to see what that looks like from the air.
Normally post those on social media.
They're on our
Okay.
Gateway community site right now.
I'll have to see if Randy posted them because we literally just got them 2 days ago.
So we are still looking at an August completion date, but that's subject to change if they have weather delays this summer. So we're tracking that. CCTV storm. My understanding is that Tony wanted to talk about this one.
A little bit because of the issue. Oh, we'll wait, Chelsea and I will talk about that.
All right. Griffin Drive sidewalks. Draft plans were submitted on May 30th. I'm sorry, will be submitted by May 30th. for district review. So that'll be end of next week. Tree line sidewalk, we're awaiting survey
They were surveying this week,
this week.
last week and this week.
Yeah, they were out there Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
So as soon as we receive that survey drawing, we'll begin drafting plans for district review. And the target date for that is June 9th. GIS support services, Tetra Tech has created an HOA directory map and contact details to be published on the website. All new meter box locations have been mapped and connected to the work order system. And in the coming weeks, we will finalize the district and Pelican Preserve web maps to be published on the district's website, and continue mapping easements from official records and plats.
Madam Chair, if I may, just for clarification on that, and Chelsea, the meter boxes and all those won't be available to the general public, will they?
Correct.
Okay. Just want to make sure when he says,
Only items that we,
want the public to see,
Can
Yes.
share.
because
Yes.
utility
Available.
infrastructure is exempt. Okay, thank you.
Which should include FPL too, right? They have some restrictions.
They have a lot of issues.
I
yes.
know. So
That-
that's
yes.
another thing that we should be starting including it too, because when they do have their plans and their stuff, they're not going to just hand it out to us because they're after 9/11, they cannot do such a thing. So,
Critical infrastructure.
sorry, go ahead.
Then we have development updates. Don't have much knowledge on these, so I don't know if maybe Chelsea wants to address those.
yep, I can take those. Daniels Parkway Apartments, they are under construction. They're doing a lot of site work. They're hitting a lot of rock. We have our inspections for any type of utilities. Tetra Tech's also out there doing their typical inspections. Santa Luz, Tony.
Yeah, on that, following the last board meeting, I sent 2 emails to the council for Lennar, and haven't heard anything back yet. And so Chelsea and I discussed it, and she had a good suggestion, is that in my email, I told the other parties what the board was amenable to as far as additional changes to the agreement. Nothing came back, so I'm going to prepare revisions to incorporate those 4 items and send it off, because they're not moving any needle. It's very frustrating. So I appreciate Chelsea bringing that suggestion up.
KO, we're working through that. That was approved by the board back in 2018, but I know that there's kind of been some current discussions regarding that. The Grace Community School, that I believe we have finalized all of our comments and will be prepared to bring that to you at a forthcoming meeting for recommendation of approval. And then Garrett FM, with their phased construction, we are continuing to provide those phased construction oversight and inspections for any things that are one-offs that come up. We're working through those. Any questions for Tetra Tech?
None.
Not for me.
Back to Eric. Give me some odds, Eric, on that building being done in the month of August.
There you go, Carol.
I will let you know after I have a meeting with them next week on an updated schedule.
The things that they have left to do, for the life of me, I don't know what the hell weather has to do with them. They're under roof.
Inside.
Their problem is inside, not outside.
I don't think they even have windows in yet.
They have window
Your point
frames.
is?
They have,
It rains starting June 1st, rainy season, Florida.
Building up.
I'm just having a hard time believing in anything they say. Let's look at it and see what happens.
they have mechanical roughed in. They have a lot of the mechanical, the electrical and plumbing roughed in. So they're going to start rough in of the rest the end of this week, early next. But I do have a sit down with their construction project manager and superintendent early next week.
Next
to
week,
review.
after I get back from up in Orlando, I'd like to go meet with you
Call
and
me.
go over
We'll
there,
go.
take a look
Absolutely.
and see what's going on because this is ridiculous.
Yep.
I believe this week they started on the roofing. Did that happen, Chelsea?
Yes, they did.
They were working on the roof today.
Yep.
Perfect.
And they've put trusses on the 2 bathroom structures. So the roof, the other smaller structures will catch up.
And did we get a final resolution on the emergency gate and over into Hampton Park? That all is
Am I not-
resolved now?
To my knowledge, I know that there's a request from the community to enhance the landscaping that we haven't even taken out or haven't put in yet. So again, we've promised that we'll evaluate this. I have to give the contractor the opportunity to do their job and meet the contract requirements, and we can add additional landscaping, just like with the request from Jerry, additional landscaping to the project.
Back to an issue that came up earlier today, just for my knowledge, do our equipment or our trucks and transportation devices have evac capability?
They do not right now.
What would it take to get evac capability?
I've got to review the ordinances and any statutes that are applicable and see if we have the opportunity to get those.
To do those, because that might be a way to, rather than taking Goliath on the issue of the transponders, we just get evac.
Yeah, we're looking into it.
Okay.
All right, so nothing else for Tetra Tech, then we'll go into admin.
Thank you.
Fee schedule.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Eric.
thank you, Eric.
Move to approve the fee schedule as presented.
I'll second for discussion. Okay.
Good.
So go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead.
All right, so I had some questions regarding, I just want a clarification, and maybe Tony can chime in on this one. Oh, you moved it. So go up.
Sorry.
All right there, stay. So, and I talked to Chelsea about this. So family of, okay, so under the parks and recreation, which looks super weird. Resident family up to 4, no cost. Each additional person over 4, $5 a year. So I was asking Chelsea, what is exactly that $5 a year?
What does that mean?
Exactly. So it means like.
Got 6 kids, you're going to be,
So two,
paying for 2 of
so for my household, so literally we gave me and you as an example.
Sorry.
So
You were a perfect
you're a
example.
perfect example. So I said, Chelsea, so I have 4 kids. I mean, no, I don't. I have 2. Oh, gosh.
He said Doug and
Okay.
his six-member household, we as a district have to determine what a family is. What's the quantity on that? We have suggested 4. We said if you're a 6-member household, you're covered for your 4. How do we capture the other 2? We said $5 extra per head. The conversation Flavia and I had, which I tend to agree, is we need to account for not only the extra head, but the extra pass.
Because the pass alone is $35, the actual fob. So if we're going to charge them 5, we're in the whole 30.
can't they pass them amongst themselves?
So then that was the question, because Chelsea's like, no, the key fob would be 2 per household. And I said, well, I disagree, because you're expecting my 22-year-old, my 20-year-old, me and Tim to like be passing it along. Like if there's a cost, like we get the membership for free, but the cost for the key fob, we should pay for it, right? So,
If you want more than 2,
Well, that's what I was going to say, just to allocate a certain number and everything else, you have
Everything
to
else
pay.
is-
yeah. which
then
is-
it's choice.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be paying just because I have more kids than
Right.
Flavia.
Exactly.
However, I don't think that you should be funding 6 fobs for me and
Mm-hmm.
only
1 for
2
somebody
or
else.
3 for someone else. And I'm perfectly fine.
Two fobs per family, 1 for single.
Yeah,
How many sinkles you got?
I mean,
There's nobody here that's a child without
I think
anybody.
a good baseline or benchmark would be, we provide 2 key fobs per family.
Any
And then
additional they
any
buy.
additional fob, you said they're $35 a piece?
That's what it says right here.
That is a replacement cost. The actual cost is less, but if we don't have an incurred,
Just put in 2 costs, one for a new one and one for a replacement. Burn them for the replacement.
that was the intent.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Why would we charge for a replacement if it's bad?
No, meaning like if you lost
They
it.
lost.
Yeah, they
Oh,
lost it.
okay.
You have
All
no,
right.
you have no idea how many lost
So
cards we've
all
gone
we
through.
want to do is just cover our costs, so.
She looked at me because I have probably 6,
it's-
but I don't.
So
think
what
I
is to
If
stop?
it's $10, just give it to them for $10, but if they go out and lose it, it's going to cost a lot more than that to get it replaced.
What's to stop me from, you're going to give me 2.
To give into the
I'm
one
gonna
that
buy,
the 2
I'm gonna
kids.
buy another one, an extra, that's 3. One of my boys loses one, I come back and get, like, I need a new
report it.
fob versus a replacement, you
Well,
know.
don't report it. You still got 2.
So that's what I was saying. I think the price had to be the same. And then also, I was thinking, okay, so we give you 2 fobs, right? So Charlie, you, Logan, and I don't know, pick another kid that's gonna get the fob because I ain't doing that. So,
Camden,
right, Cam. So they have the fob. What stops Doug from giving his fob from the other kid and not paying the $5? You know, I don't want
I
us
don't
to.
think that matters. I
But
think who uses it in access is irrelevant.
No, it is not because you would have to pay the $5.
No, what I'm saying is, if I have 2, and I just want to share it within my 6, Cam wants to go to the courts, here's the fob, go. He comes back.
Hanging on the wall.
Tucker wants to go, he grabs the fob. He's using the same fob for access with
Okay, that's
multiple
not,
individuals.
that's not what it is.
That's what it should be.
Okay, so
'Cause it
there's
shouldn't
2
matter.
Well, it matters right here.
Now, if you can track the number,
No, Doug, 2 different things. Forget about the fob. I'm fine with everybody getting 2 fob, okay?
Okay.
And then they can use it within the household. What this says is, if you have a household of 4, you can give it to whoever is there. Now you have a household of
we don't
6.
track household members
Then
for
that,
access.
so then you have to take this out.
Yeah, you gotta take that out. We're not charging
So-
extra for families that
Then
have
you
more than
said-
4
You
people
have
in their
to,
household.
you have to determine what a household equals.
Do.
Family is who resides at
That's
that
what I was
resident.
thinking. I was thinking resident, to be
You
honest
have to
with you,
show
I was
proof
thinking-
of residency in that household. I can't give it to, my mother-in-law who lives over in Botanical Lakes to come over.
And that's kind of how I agree. I agree it's a resident because a resident is not necessarily an owner. So if there's a tenant, then the homeowner can have his own, right? And he can choose to go there or not. But then the tenant will have his own. So I'm kind of inclined to be opposed of charging a $5 additional. And to me, as long as you're a resident of Gateway, you are paying. Either your landlord's paying, either the commercial is paying, or either you yourself is paying. So you should have access. That's how I look at it. If we want to make up by giving only 2 fobs and then making the fobs 35 each, then I'm
Now,
totally okay with that.
There's a bigger issue that we have to
So,
address. One second.
Flavia, oh,
How we validate residency is by identification. If at any point you're in Gateway and you're in a facility and it's, and the rules are if you're a Gateway resident, you have access to that facility. You say, can you show proof of residency? Here's my ID, here's something with my address on it. If you're under 16 or under 15 and you don't have, an ID card or driver's license, that's where we need to figure out how we're going to verify and validate residency for minors.
But then
we need a way to do that.
Do you create, not give fob and create an ID with the picture, just like the library does at the school?
Well, and that's, at Stony Brook, that's what we do.
Yeah,
So you get
so
a
so
fob
maybe-
and you get an ID card. And
So
you're
this-
responsible to have that
We have to
ID
put a
and your
cost here for
fob.
that.
Because here's the problem that I'm trying to solve. It's not only maintaining and trying to have, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, you're right. What stops me giving a fob for somebody in Lehigh?
Well, not only that.
And then
That's
use
exactly
it.
where
So
we're
we
going.
No, but
absolutely
that's
need a
not-
card with pictures. It's
But,
not
and
in here.
this goes to maybe a larger issue, which is, let's say, what's stopping my son bringing 6 of his buddies that don't live here, or, a kid somehow gaining access and coming in and just,
That is
But-
captured as day pass guest.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that's also the issue that we have at our other Parks and Recs facilities, is we have people using the facilities that don't live here. So if you go, do you have proof of residency? You can do that if you're above the legal driving age or you have an ID card. You can validate, okay, you don't live here, you do not have access, you have to get a permit or pass. But if they're kids, how do you regulate kids using the facility if they don't have an ID? Then you say, if you are a minor, you need to have an ID card with, or at least something that shows your address on it.
At this point, I think everybody gets an ID card. They go to the office, they take a picture, they get an ID card. If they're tenant, they have they can bring their lease and then you have an entry date and an expiration date.
Well, everyone has a water bill, so I mean.
Oh, yeah, but, yes, tell me.
Kids wouldn't have it.
Flavia, is your intention to just eliminate the $5 per year?
We shouldn't charge extra for
I say
families.
yes, but then Chelsea's like, well, how many? I wouldn't limit it into how many. I would limit it if they're a resident, if they live here, because we don't charge them for how many people are in the house, right?
The household pays taxes for those.
That's not how they pay our non-valorant taxes. It's equal, so we don't charge if you have one person or 5 in there. So I think if you reside in Gateway and if you have proof of it, then you get it.
Okay, I don't have a problem with eliminating the $5
I'm totally
a
okay
year.
with the 2 fobs. But now you brought a point. I do think in here, we should have an ID card. So I think everybody in the household registers and gets an ID card. And then the 2 fobs, you know what I mean?
And I think
Tony's gonna say
I think
no,
if you're
'cause
if you're
I
coming in
need
and
to
using the, if our staff is validating, let's say we got 4 people playing on the pickleball courts. They've gotten a way to get in because they have a fob, and you just want to validate them there. Either you have a Gateway ID card, or you have to show proof of residency. It's that simple. If you're a minor, you're required to have an ID, or that's the only way you have a valid identification, because you don't have a driver's
Who would
license.
issue the ID? Us?
The district, yeah.
No, Tony wants to say
I'm
something.
concerned, my concern is, I made a note to check on this. When you have photographs of minors in public records, it's a super sensitive matter. The idea about publishing photographs of minors in whatever form or format. So I was just checking, need to check on that with the public records law, but you can get a state of Florida ID card for anybody over 5 years old can get a Florida ID card. And, so if they were to present that.
That's tough because it takes you 60 days to get a schedule at the DMV to go in and get an ID. So that's not convenient at all.
It's not gonna be ready until August.
But the question is, all right, so I'll look into the issue about whether or not, when we have those in our possession, what we need to do. If we're going to have photographs of minors in the district's files, and somebody makes a public records request, I don't think parents would appreciate that. So the question, I just need to see if those are exempt records.
They should be exempt, right?
Well, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
What the
I know, but I
legislature-
mean, just common sense.
So
to
I
say
will
that.
check on that.
So what's the cost of a new fob?
The
cost of a
cards
fob.
that you guys use, they're about $1.
Are we going
What?
cards
Yeah.
or?
They
But-
just give, if you got 6 kids, if you've got 4 kids, you get 2 plus 4. Be done with it, give it all, and resolve this. Then if you get caught giving it to somebody else, you lose your rights.
Yeah, well, there's a
Then
fine.
that solves the problem.
Are we talking about the cards that we currently use today?
Yes.
I thought, didn't we switch to the little fobs?
Those are about $8 each. We're not using
They're what?
those. They're about $8 a piece. We're not going to hand those up.
That's what
That's for
Stony Brook
staff.
uses today,
Yeah, we
right?
have that for
So
staff.
This kind of,
Just give everybody a card that's in the family, be done with it. If you get caught, you just understand, you're now banned from use.
But
Is
we want Tony to look into
Yeah.
having the ID.
I'll still
okay?
look at that.
But let me ask you a question.
ID card.
The card versus the small gray fob, we can program both of those, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So you could have a choice whether you wanted a free card or if you wanted to purchase a smaller fob, would that be an option? There's so much easier.
I'll be honest, the
Well, I know.
card, that's why I had, you guys give me like 10, because I lose them all the time.
We should be charging you for that.
They do.
double.
Anyway, all I'm saying, asking, would that be an option, whether we decide to go with that or
So
not?
if I can, that is an option. We have to get a point of sale. Right now, we're working through that as part of the programming, which was Tim's public comment. I can touch on that later, but the bigger conversation here really is, and we've had this instance at the pool where we've had minors bring in 7 friends and they've tried to enter the pool and we have turned them away.
Because there's too many?
Oh, because they don't have a membership, because under the current schedule that we have approved, they have to buy either a pass for
But
the
you're
year.
allowed guests, right?
We, this is a very gray area. And so operationally, at that time, they had coolers, they had all this other stuff. Stony Brook Pool was closed. They were trying to come in. But what
You're a
is,
real Grinch.
what is the underlying premise we're trying to solve here? And if it is for us, from a visibility standpoint and an enforcement, do you have a fob? Where's your fob? Show me your fob. If you don't have a fob, then you shouldn't be here.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So the four of us are utilizing, see, the reason why giving two fobs, you kind of, okay, what if I want to be at the dog park, Mikey wants to be at the pool, one kid wants to be at pickleball, and then Tim wants to go somewhere
You buy
else?
extra fobs. It's that simple. If you have a household
Carpool.
that needs
No, I'm
more
just
than
saying,
two,
you're not gonna get too
more
many
than
of those
two, then you just buy. I mean, what would it be? $10, $15,
But
$20
you
at the
said-
most.
you
It's
said
not.
It's $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give them.
I mean, we sell them for $10. If you want an extra fob, it's $10. That shouldn't put us.
That's a convenience thing.
Our issue on all this is coming down to an enforcement issue.
And that's
But
what
the
I
other
was
thing I want
thinking,
to
like, why is it-
address is the guest thing. To me, we should be promoting our residents using our amenities in our facilities. I think you should be allowed 2 guests per resident household to use our.
Who monitors that?
Well,
There's
yeah.
the problem.
Well, I mean, it'd be the same monitoring if
Who's
you
gonna
regulated
monitor
2
it?
versus 4 versus
Exactly,
whatever.
6, yeah.
But my point is, if I'm coming and, I'm bringing 2 of Cam's friends, or if Cam's coming and he wants to bring a friend, or if we have friends in from out of town or whatever, I mean, 2 I think is an appropriate amount of guests that you're allowed. Anything over that, then there should be a guest fee for any guests above 2. If we start putting a dollar amount on every guest, and I don't know how often this happens, but now we're
Often.
well, but
But how
if we're
often
charging
does the
every
guest
guest,
get to come before they?
a guest can't come on their own. I mean,
Well,
they
I
have to be
understand,
accompanied
but
by a
what
resident.
keeps somebody from bringing the same guest every other day?
Well, I mean, that's one more person at the pool.
I know.
To me, that's just using the amenity. To me, I don't know. I don't see it as a huge problem. I think it's more a deterrent if we start charging for every guest.
So this entire discussion was had by your Parks and Rec Advisory Committee, and this is what they have recommended to you. So we've got to, jokingly, to Flavia's point, we've got time to work through this. The time-sensitive part of this fee schedule is the rental rates of the soccer fields and of the complexes. The timing of the membership cards and things like that. Listen, until we get this thing open and we see it functioning in real time,
You're gonna have amendments.
you're gonna have amendments, exactly.
So do you want to remove that and just give, and go ahead and
Well-
post notice for what we need to go now, and then continue to work the other areas, and then
We
repost? 'Cause
can-
you're gonna have to repost it regardless.
And well, here's another thing too. How many people are actually spending like a day pass? You're not coming for a day. It's not like you're going to Sunsplash. People are coming for maybe 2 hours, 3 hours at the most. You tell me, and if you can clock and show me differently, where there's people that are staying 4+ hours at the pool at volume, I think $10 is a lot for a guest.
Based on
But it's
comps, it's really not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I don't think, and that's the other thing, I don't think this for pool is for anything. So they pay $10.
Okay, now that's different.
They
That's
pay
different.
10 because
Now-
it's under Parks and Rec. So
Because
they
now
pay
that's different, because if
$10,
you're using
they
if
can
you're
go
using
to
the
the
pickleball,
for
whatever,
a little
$10.
bit,
Okay,
yeah,
all right. So I
okay.
wasn't looking at it that way. I
Mm,
can understand that, but I think we should strike the
$5 one?
Strike the 5.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I
as
think
well.
we should allow
is-
up to 2 guests. Would
This
be
is
my.
discussion. That's been the whole point in this. If you want to kick that back to your Parks and Rec Committee for consideration, I know that they had a lengthy conversation about this, and again, I try to use comps. Like, I know Pelican, Bob, or Carol, if you guys have family who come in town, your household, your 2-member household is covered. If you have a company that comes in town, you have to pay, right?
Nobody does, but yes,
Okay.
nobody pays.
The enforcement part.
What did you say, Bob?
There's no enforcement whatsoever.
You're supposed
It's a
to pay.
rule, it's a rule,
Nobody
and you're
does.
supposed to.
I
Supposed to pay for guests, but you don't.
I look at Planet Fitness, perfect example. Planet Fitness Black Card membership, you get a a guest X amount of times per month, and they have to register every time that they go in. So, yeah, all of this is gonna amount to enforcement 100%. And are we gonna have to pivot and adjust? Yes. The biggest takeaway is establishing, well, number one, do you even want to offer this to non-residents? Open these facilities to non-residents. That is
Without a resident,
correct.
as a guest, there's a difference.
Just to non,
At the gate, no, I think you.
I don't think so
You
either.
can only,
Residents pay
you can only access gateway amenities
As a guest.
as a resident
Or
or
a
as the guest of a resident, and the resident has to be,
it has to be a company. It
Yeah.
has to be a
and the
company.
easy way for, like, if we want to do the guest thing, I mean, we do it all the time when we go into, let's say Paradise Coast or whatever. You walk up to the door, there's a QR code, you scan it, it takes you to an app, you pay the $5,
And that's what we're
and then
looking
you
at.
get it. Like,
That is exactly
in
what
order
we're
for this
looking
to
at.
work, because part of the enforcement is the ease of administration,
Correct.
you know.
Yeah. And that is as part of one of the programs that we're looking at is the implementation of a day pass. All right, well, I'm the resident, here's my key pass, this is my guest. Well, show me your guest pass then. Or show me
It's on your
that, show
phone.
me,
Even if you're a minor, they all have phones. So easy
That's right.
to show, here's my pass. Yeah, it's so easy.
That's their toddler. Everybody else has got a phone. First grade on.
So to directly answer your question, the time sensitive stuff, yes, if you want to, and then if we want to continue to have the conversation, just know that we do have to have a public hearing and it has to be advertised and you have to set times and dates. The time sensitive stuff is the field rentals
Let's go to that.
Let's go to that. That's going to be,
and, well, okay.
and remind me, today it's 60.
Everything's right
Okay,
here.
it's right here. I see it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, I just did some numbers here. If you're going to the soccer fields? Going to the soccer fields, is that where we're heading?
Yes.
Okay. You sent out a deal where basically with capital and with operating, we're looking at about $874,000 a year. We had talked 75%. Let's look, for discussion only, we go to 50%. That says they got to come up with 437,000. Right now, with assuming the license rental or whatever you call it, parking rental, they're bringing in about 200,000, correct? Right now,
160,
huh?
160.
What's-
Well,
but-
plus
But if
parking.
you added the parking
Current
in, you're
Plus,
going to be
they're
about
estimating 40,000 for parking, so
That's
it'll
what
be
I said, so
200.
200,000.
Yeah. Yes.
So that leaves them now 237,000. If we're right now at $134 per hour to create the $200,000, then what we need to do is just take that 134, double it and make it 275, and that's the deal. It's done. That's 50%. That's be as far as I would be willing to go.
You're saying 275 an hour?
Yeah.
So going from 67 to 2?
Well, no, you got to go by the premise. The premise is.
Yeah, I know what
is
you're backing
50%.
into the numbers, but I just want to make sure
So
I'm understanding.
I'm backing
So
in.
go from 67 to the 2, what was the number, 2 something per
Well,
hour?
I'm saying that if the total cost is 874, which I believe is factual, and if we want to subsidize it 50%, that means they got to come up with 50%. That's 437. They're already paying and contributing 200,000 under the current deal, which is a combination of the parking and their fee. That means they're 237,000 short, which means it's about the same as the 200,000. So if the 134 creates 200,000, 275 would create the rest of it, raise it. And be done with it. And then give that to them as an offer. You come up with the 237,000 any other way, winning the lottery, whatever. That's what it takes to get to the table. That solves the problem. And that's at a 50%, not 75. That's at 50%.
Can you just remind me again, out of that, what's included in that 874?
574,000 ballpark of operating costs, 300,000 of capital debt.
Okay, so 574 is operating, the rest is capital.
And those numbers that Laura put together, that supported what it is. And I went through independently did it myself without not having a lot of the information, but I came out with very similar numbers. But that's the only way, the reality is the cost to do this, to create the 50% subsidy alone is staggering.
And the 574 is just for soccer park operating costs. And that includes, can you just break it down for me high level?
That's everything.
Ma-
That's labor, material, labor,
And we have a capital.
everything.
So that's landscaping,
Salaries,
Electrical,
salaries.
everything.
trash removal, all the
Electrical.
utilities. Irrigation.
I don't
and
know
all
any other
that.
way of doing it. The reality is that shows the cost of what we're willing to subsidize it to be able to come up with the other $437,000. And that's not a real fun pill to swallow. But I don't know how we get this off the table, because right now, we're just going in circles.
So what is the dollar amount from?
I said take the 134, take it to about 275.
The field rental.
I don't know any other way of doing it, because there are no other cost or revenue
We're really going from
producing numbers.
$67,
I'm sorry.
we're going from 67 to 235.
Well, if they're at 67 now and we were going to take them to 134, I'm saying to be able to make a 50% subsidy, it needs to go to 275.
That's too much in 1 year.
Yeah, I think so
Do
too.
what?
That's too much in 1 year. 134 is as much as.
Even
Well, we're not-
134
We
is
can't do it in 1
75.
month. We can't do it in one bite. We'll visit again next year.
We do it to 134 now, and then
Yes.
the other one.
I mean, that's a bitter
what
pill.
is it,
There's nobody that's happy with that.
134 is.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So what we're back to, we're subsidizing 75%.
We've always been it. Now we're
Yeah,
trying
but
to
we're not-
narrow it.
I'll vote against that. No.
Okay. Well, we're
No
not going to
more
do
of
it in
that.
1 year.
This is just out, it's out of hand.
It's always been out of hand, Ed.
Charles, wasn't me, was it an email from the residents that I forwarded to you that they already advertised for the increase on their new fees?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
So the increase that we haven't agreed, they're already charging the people.
well, they
34.
they put it, well, they put a note that there will be a surcharge, and that,
Like $35, there's something.
Well, they have
else.
to because they're collecting for their season.
Right.
So they have to stay
From a
ahead.
timeliness point of view, they got to get it out there. Well, I can't support that jump, that big jump.
So if
I'll
I'm,
support the 134.
if I may, I looked at the hours of field rental since we've had Facilitron, because that's the only way that I can track actual rental of hours and lights. And I looked at basically from May of 2023 through March of 2026. And if we do $134 an hour on the big fields and $80 an hour on the field one, and have the lights at $35 an hour, and assuming the field rental hours and light rental hours stay the same, we would have $348,000 in income. Plus parking. That's
So
just
an
field
increase
rental.
over, so there will be an
That's-
additional 140, almost 150,000 additional revenue.
More than
But
that.
that's
We're getting
still-
about 160,000 right now in rental revenue, and this, if we raise the rates to that, I'm predicting, if everything stays the same, if the averages, we would have about $348,000. So it basically doubles the income.
They would
Which-
have about 348.
No, that's what
They
we would
would
get from
generate
Yes,
348.
we would receive about 348,000.
348 out
So it
of
basically doubles
874.
it from
So-
160 to 347, plus parking, plus any other fees that we would charge. That would strictly be
Concessions.
field and lights.
3565. is
So
what
that
they
would, at the $134 an hour for the larger fields and the $80, at the rates presented on this fee schedule. If the hour rentals and everything remain the same, that's what based on average usage, that's what I'm predicting.
The other elephant in the room is the 574,000 for operation and maintenance. That's a huge, huge number. I mean, I think we've always talked about that. The way we get to where we need to get to is we reduce operation and maintenance, and then we increase revenue at the same time. We have to do that in parallel. So the biggest charge that I have for staff is we have control over the increase, but we get to a point where we, we have to just be careful with the increased volume. But that's internal discussion. But the 574, how do we reduce that? Is it renegotiate or bringing it, landscaping or lawn cutting in-house? Is it renegotiating that with, I know, but,
Most of it.
So here is what I did, based on what you asked me to do at the last meeting, to split out the Parks and Rec, the pool is down here at the bottom. But I broke it out into, this is what I shared with Ed. The soccer pool and basically everything else for Parks and Rec. So this is how I got there. All this stuff is salaries and staff related. And then I split out,
I'm sorry, can we pause just for 1 second? So our soccer payroll budget is 137,650. Can you just tell me what staff is doing for that? Just, what is that? How do we, I know there's a portion, but that's the time they spend over here doing.
Mowing,
The
striping.
question is
Yeah.
what does the staff do for 177 for all other? There isn't anything.
Well, is it the maintenance that they're doing, the picking up the
It's
trash,
maintenance,
the
it's trash.
monitoring?
It's bathrooms, they clean the bathrooms. We took that in-house a couple years ago.
Are we seeing a savings on that? Because it wasn't that expensive. I remember the cleaning. I remember when we took that in-house.
Well, I mean, I've already said before, I've never been to a facility where they charge the renter for bathroom cleaning. I've never seen that anywhere.
No, meaning like before we used to have a company that.
We had
came
a
in and
cleaning
cleaned it.
company. Yeah, no, we should absolutely be doing this in-house. I mean, for our hourly versus what you'd pay a cleaning company. Well, I could be wrong about that, but anyway. But where's the opportunity on operation and maintenance for us to lower that?
We have accounted for that as
15%.
part of the proposed budget and taking some of the mowing services in-house and canceling the summer cuts. We've already procured a small piece of equipment and staff is getting trained up and cross-trained on how to use that. So that will be, in 2 years' time, we will recover those costs completely. Then it's just a matter of staff time doing that. Because you're choosing not, I'm assuming, because we're choosing not to redo the entire fields as a
no way that's
capital, we're gonna have to increase our existing $80,000 budget for, or
Sod maintenance?
70 to
from
95.
70 to 95 to account for that, the test that we did, the seeding, the
Yeah, the
extra.
overseeding,
The
yeah,
overseeding and
which
stuff.
worked really well.
So that right there off the top is an additional 25,000, but we have a cost savings. You have to keep in mind, the biggest add on this Parks and Rec budget is the Commons coming online.
Is the what?
The Commons coming online.
Yeah, but that's not
that's
part of the
not-
574.
It's part of the Parks and Rec budget as a
That's why that
whole.
third column's jumping up so high.
Yeah, that's all new.
Yeah, we
comes
get
in.
that, but I guess the
We're,
soccer-
we're trying to offset the soccer part.
So- that's what I was
cost.
thinking,
The
soccer.
operating and maintenance there. We know there's a much larger deal, but we're not asking the Commons at this point to be revenue generating and to account for 50% of the operation and maintenance at the
We're
Commons
billing,
part.
we're billing that.
We're bi-
That's
yeah.
already in the budget. The issue at hand is that is not used by the general majority of the public. That's what we're talking about. That's how we got to 75%
So
to
you have,
start
ir-
with.
you
Dollars a
have
place.
irrigation, you have staffing, you have the contractual stuff with JSM and Mainscape. Mainscape does very little mowing, but we are asking, I think, for a zero-turn mower to take the perimeter mowing in-house. So we'll have a cost savings on that. Pennies, but a savings nonetheless over time. We've got the additional sod and overseeding and repairs that need to be done. We're talking additional
We have some goals we
soccer
have to
goals
replace.
that have to be replaced. We don't pay for paint because we get that for free from
The county.
the county. We have the contract for the paint striper machine. We're gonna do away with the mowing, the automated mower contract, so that will be a cost savings.
I thought that on the capital, the 406, I thought a large piece of that was soccer. What's in it that all of a sudden ended up under all other?
Let me pull it up here.
That 406, going back to that page.
That was on there for the soccer fields was goals and the mower. That
That's
was
all?
it. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we pulled it.
So
I look
the
at that 3
Lighting
times to
and-
make sure I put them in the right
So
column.
the other items are not in here whatsoever.
Well,
They're in there
Lighting
under
and
all
parking, that's all
other.
bond, right?
Yeah.
That's
Lighting,
separate.
parking, and sod replacement is not in here.
we have to remulch the playground. all playgrounds. I mean, the fun park will go away, but this one, we have to remulch that and make sure we meet all of those standards. I mean, all of these little things continue to add
But
up.
the issue at hand is the green column.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the
And
green column. The blue column and the pink column aren't, to me, aren't up for discussion. It's the green column. What can we do to
How
get
much
that
of-
577 down
Okay.
to a smaller
So
number? And
looking at line item 22, $80,000. So I'm just trying to think, equals $95,000 for sod replacement. Okay, I get that. $80,000 for maintenance and repair.
What does that equal?
What's that? Because if we're doing in-house, like, is that parts? Because we're already paying the salary up top, right?
That doesn't
So-
belong
Irrigation
there.
is a different
That came
line
out of
item.
Budget. I just.
So we're telling me, so we're saying, you see, so if the goals are down there under the 48,000, then are they up here as well?
this is 2 sets of new goals. Or are they both places?
That's not right. This 40,000 down
should-
here, well, it's 95.2
Oh, the
altogether.
2,000 for lightning detection.
No, I'm just looking at the dark green, so the 80 grand.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah, no, but should you move it to that side?
at.
I will have to look.
There could be an opportunity.
So
I'll investigate that.
Because I could see 80,000 in repair, including salaries, you know what I mean? Like that would make sense, but, so that's one, and then go up a little. $33,000 for security services.
That's for the patrol that you guys asked for to go after dark to roam around the whole area.
Okay, that's my point. That's soccer. Why did we put it under the soccer?
Because the intent, my understanding, and I can shift it around, it's not the whole thing, it's a portion of it. Part of it also is going to the pool and part of it is going to all other parks
I'm
and
only talking
rec.
about 33,000, so
Okay,
33,000 is
so
soccer, right?
I took roughly half
saying half.
because you had asked for them to be patrolling during events and things like that too, like during the soccer leagues are out there. So I assumed that the majority of their time was going to be taken up over here.
And is
then
that
the
currently in
which is
place?
half.
no, this would
This
be
is
that
future state.
third shift coverage of security patrol services, which would be all. Now, if you want to change that to a different percentage split across.
I can share it equally if you'd like.
And that is like,
That is not
but
Lee
that's more
County
on, are
Sheriff's
we talking about that,
Office.
is that during
That's
league
an
time?
addition. That's an
That is-
addition to it. That's
is-
what I'm trying to figure it out. So $66,000 is for security services in addition to the Lee County Sheriff's Office contract, right? Is that what you're saying? Because that's a lot. Then I'll kill one or the other.
And
This type of security service, like, they're very
Wiser.
limited. They're,
Is wiser.
okay, they're very limited in what they can do.
well, and what I would want is, for me, there's two concerns. One is the illegal parking, which is a risk and liability. Two, it's usage of the fields outside of staff capability to manage that. So it's after 5 o'clock, it's on the weekends and Sundays. 'Cause
This was the third shift coverage for 365 days a year. If you don't want it to be that, it can be less.
I mean,
I'm just trying to understand it.
again, the
I'm-
two things
yeah.
I think we need, if we can't manage them in-house, is the parking and the facilities being used by non-gateway residents, primarily on the weekends and after hours, because that creates damage and additional usage outside of what we budget and manage for
Does that have
field
anything to
use.
do with security?
So that's what I'm saying. What is security gonna do? They
That
can't
would be-
trespass anyone, so security is still gonna need the other half, which is, you're not supposed to be here, get out. They're not gonna get out, then they have to call Lee County Sheriff's Office. By the time they get here, they'll be out, so nothing happens.
Now, a good way, now we can offset, like my parking, if people park on the berm,
I like to ticket them,
Just-
Tony.
just, let's figure out a way we can rope that thing off, or put,
When you leave here, just go take a look.
oh, it's already roped off? Not, okay, so that problem is already solved.
Spikes and stuff we have out there.
Oh, okay. And then the other is usage. And maybe that's just where,
noticed it today when we came in.
maybe that's just where we have to let, I don't think the sheriff's gonna get out of his car and check,
No.
So that's a problem we're not gonna be able to solve right now.
Here's what I would suggest. You're trying to cut right now for high water.
And what?
You're trying to cut for high water. Well, really, we're supposed to be talking about the fee schedule.
Used to be high
We're
water,
talking-
it's
we're
low
talking-
water now.
We're talking about the fee
fees
schedule.
right now.
We're talking about the fee schedule, and you're trying to cut costs to appease a rental rate that you're trying to meet in the middle and cover
And
costs.
with the rental rate, we have 80, from 40 to
80 and 100,
80, from
so
67
double.
to 134. And
So-
then next year, bread, nice and butter, it will be another increase. It's not gonna stay flat.
But that's what,
And it's not gonna be small increase. neither.
And
I think that's enough of an increase for this year.
And well,
As long as there's no capital then.
yeah, if I could,
Yeah.
it'll,
No
we'll have
capital.
to.
Yeah, we can afford it.
No capital with that, none at all.
But taking that number of 574, which is what everybody kind of agrees is the maintenance expense for the fields, I'll just call them fields. And, because we're going to rent to whomever wants to use those. Taking just that 574, I think what Doug is trying to say is there a way that we can cut expenses also off of that 574? So that we get closer to our goal, which I thought was to be where our revenue either meets or exceeds our expenses.
Our problem is what are you gonna cut? That's the problem. There's nothing on there
And
that's,
that's what I'm thinking. I don't think there's
that's-
nothing there you're gonna cut.
you might get $30,000, $40,000 out of there, but that's
I agree
it.
with Ed, no capital, like if for 80 and 130, no capital improvements this year.
You have to do the
But
lights.
but guys,
have
I
to do
think
the lights.
rather than us, I think staff should make a recommendation to us.
So what is
I'm
your
fine with-
concern
I'm fine
the
with-
lights?
I'm
Is
fine
it
with
the
delaying-
additional lights or the repair lights?
No, we need to change those lights out.
Okay, so then-
They are that bad. I'm
Okay.
fine with the parking
So
lot
my
if we want to
question is,
table that for a
is
year,
it the
but
lumens, is it that's too dark or is it?
it's too dark.
the-
It is
okay, so it's
substantially
additional.
and significantly too dark.
So
Okay.
as, what I would suggest, and how you fund it is to be determined. That can either be through a 5-year bank loan, it can be through the bond, it could be through, there's a new proposal that I just received, kind of like what we do with FPL, lighting as a service, $6,500 a month rental service agreement with a lighting manufacturer that is turnkey for a 10-year contract. That is an option that is a service agreement. Tony is looking at me because this is.
What's the dollar value of the
We
lighting-
talked
of the lighting component only?
It's about 800K.
It depends if you want to purchase outright or if you want to do lighting as a service. But either way, the lighting is about $750,000, $750,000.
And what's the life on that? 10 years?
15? Oh,
10.
yeah, okay. The guy said we should be able to get 15 out of it.
So that's 85,000, I'm working backwards, guys.
Yeah, you are.
That's 85,000,
5,000 a
that's
year.
85,000 a year plus interest. So throw in, make it
5%.
90, 92. What's the number of hours that the 134 an hour is based on? You know where I'm going?
Yes, I know.
So the $35 an hour is gonna need.
How many hours?
An average over the last 3 years of 790 hours a year. A
That
year.
200,000 or that 167,000 is based on how many hours of time, revenue to get that?
The what?
If I take the 167,000 that they're producing
We
right
cover
now,
about 30,000.
Lighting is lighting.
how many
About
hours, and
30,000 a
you're
year.
dividing by X, how many hours is that you're using as the basis?
The
1,000?
average, the
1,400?
average hours of light usage is 787.
787.
Yes.
Okay, say 800, so.
35.
Where were we at? We were at,
$5 an hour.
I'm sorry?
$35 an hour.
So that's 27,650. Let's just say $28,000 a year of revenue is generated for light usage.
If we have, I gotta do the math. If our cost for the capital of the lighting is $90,000 a year, O&M for 10 years.
Well, it could be if you do it as a service. I mean,
Okay, and if you do that, and you got 70, would you say 750?
787.
787, make it 800. Well, it's No, it's
112.50.
90,000 divided by 800.
We need to
112.50.
charge almost $100 an hour for
112.50.
lights if we wanted to cover the
112.50?
cost at 100%.
So we're saying that to cover our cost on lighting, if we throw that in the capital, 137 has to be added by 112.50 to go to 250. Otherwise, it's a freebie. I'm totally against it. You can't do this. We're avoiding the inevitable. They got to pay their share. It's that simple. We're going out and on a 10-year investment and doing this, and they can walk and hang us for 9
I
years.
honestly don't want to invest
I don't want
anything in
any capital.
Because I just
I don't
don't know.
trust them.
I would say nothing that's permanent, but I see the next year or two, no capital until we figured it out.
See how it
Are we
goes.
gonna have a decrease on people using it? Are we gonna have an increase on people using it? Like, we don't know. Are either Tim gonna leave and Mark gonna leave and we'll get somebody else that's gonna have more usage, more money? We don't know. So I don't think,
Does that include the parking lot, which could be a potential
lighting.
just the lighting?
because the parking lot, you can generate the money with the $2. It's not enough, but you generate some, and now that we
But you
cover.
can't use that methodology because if you're talking about revenue generating, the lights are revenue generating. We charge for that. If we do the light improvement project, which is, if we do it as a service, it's $78,000 a year versus, 750 over,
Buy-in.
buy-in. But anyway, the amounts are comparable, 78 to 80, whatever. We're still charging for that, just like the parking lot. If we invest in the parking lot, we will charge for parking. But,
Now, if you want to do that.
no, but hold on, let me
that's an
finish, let me finish.
alternative.
They're both revenue generating,
Yeah,
but the
okay.
problem is the revenue that we generate doesn't cover the annual
subsidize.
expense. So we subsidize.
If you want to do that, and I'd go with that, instead of screwing up the field rental with this calculation, let's just take the capital of the lighting and put the capital of the lighting into the lighting cost.
Then it would be $95 an hour
So
for
it'd be
lighting.
95 or $100 an hour.
Yeah.
I get 100, yeah.
That is
So
not
then
an
that puts your
alternative.
total,
Then I'm fine
then
with
really,
that
if you
too.
look
But I
at it,
believe
you
that
were
the
looking at
numbers are going to
about
be the same
$234 an
when
hour.
Splitting, yeah, exactly. Then, yeah, because then they have a choice to play different times or don't play it at night.
But I still think that's a big jump from 35 to 100. That's.
But we're taking a big risk
what was the-
on
what was the
$800,000,
lighting
$900,000.
It actually went down $2 an hour.
Yeah, we can't do that. So I would, it's hard to bump up 90, doubling, going from 35, almost tripling the amount of lights.
I know, but what we said every year, we said this 5 years ago, that we understood that is a lot, and every year we say, okay, we made a math, we're like, okay, we're gonna do.
We've been on an
one-
increased schedule, right?
But not to what we originally adhered to, that's the thing, because every time we put our hearts out there, and I get it. But when we made a decision originally, we said, within 3 years, we're gonna get there, and it has not. It's 5 years and we're nowhere even half. So that's the thing, like, just saying yes now is just piling it up, because, I've been here, this is 6 years, so it's.
So the earliest that you could put lights in is when? In other words, is it going to be during the,
Ideally, you do it over the summer,
the 27 budget year?
ideally.
If
So
you,
next summer,
no,
you
This
would
summer.
put them in for fall of,
Ideally, we would do
27.
them this summer.
But you pay the capital immediately because you gotta buy it.
well, it depends.
We're going to the 6,500, if you're going.
You do the service, lighting as a service, you would pay roughly $6,500 a month. I'd have to work out all the details. This was a new venture.
FPL doesn't offer that?
So
Yeah,
we're releasing the lighting.
It's not a lease, it's a service provider agreement.
well,
What's the difference?
If we're going to
It's probably
jump,
in reality a lease.
It's
So then-
it's-
so then
it's gonna be a
It's
lease.
written as a
You're not even
service,
having
it's
it.
written as
So you're really
lighting as
subsidizing
a
'cause you're never
service.
Do we have,
okay, if we're going to
Yeah.
increase the amount of rental for lights, then we better do the work in the same calendar year.
oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, it has to be done over the summer.
Here-
The issue is that if you're doing this lease or whatever you want to call it, at the end of a year, at the end of 2 years, into 3 years, do we have any equity?
So that's what I was gonna say, no. So then to
If
me,
you
it's just.
purchased and you guys wanted us to take out a 5-year bank borrowing and run it through and just pay the P&I for the next 5 years and run it through our existing O&M methodology, we can do that. We know that the interest rate is a little, just a
About
little.
5.5.
5.5%.
Go backwards. This lease deal's got me now interested, because it'll take a risk out. If we do the deal, but what does that lease equate to in the hourly rate?
It's $6,500 a month.
Okay, 6,500 a
How
month.
many are you using the hourly?
So how
you
many
said?
hours is it that you're
Laura
He said
gonna,
it's, but that's the 786 hours is what it's been averaging.
on a yearly basis, how many, 6,500 is, I don't multiply 6,500 times 12,
80,000.
do I?
Yes, you do.
You do?
Yeah.
So 6,500 times
Still the
12
same.
is 78,000 bucks.
You're cutting, it's the same dollar amount.
It's basically the same dollar
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah.
I will say the caveat is if you choose to do the lighting as a service, there are 4 poles that have to be straightened, and there's a fixed $60,000 fixed cost.
These two-
Either way you cut it.
They're
you have
basically
to-
the same.
Yes.
You're paying the same over the.
Paying
Do
the
you
same.
own it? Do you own it and have a warranty, or do you do it as a service? That's the option. That's the splitting of the hairs. Now,
The advantage to the lease is if they walk in 2 years, our costs have been somewhat covered and we walk away. If we do it ours and we do it as a capital, we eat for the next 8
Now,
years.
but here's-
10 years.
but if-
Okay, so
But
guys, why
here's the
don't we
thing,
look
too.
at increasing the $37 an hour fee to $50 an hour?
But here's,
It's not
well,
even- that's a scratch.
here's the argument, or
And-
here's the, why I agree with you on that potentially,
And
in
put
theory.
the lights
is
in
we're
this year.
looking at a 50% recoverable ratio. That's what we're trying to get to, 50%. If we use that math with the lights, we would look to recover at least 50% of our investment. Now, and that's not what we would love to cover 100% of capital, but if we're using the methodology, if we stood that up, then
I'll go the 50% on the O and M, but
But
not
the
on the
lights
capital.
the lights, once improved, should bring us other potential rental
maybe.
realities. And then we have the opportunity next year to raise it even more.
Well, because you said 275, right? You said that's covering 50%, 275 an hour, right? Was that what your math?
If we were at 50, it depends on whether you're including
Just-
operation and capital
No,
or just
no
operation.
capital, just operation.
Okay, if you do operation, that's 574, and you take the 200 out,
I get
that's
134. Covers.
no, 574, take 50% of that, that would be 270. 270 less 200 is $70,000. 70,000 divided by 700, I mean, you wouldn't have to add the 134, much higher. But then that just covers nothing on capital, nothing.
I just want to know, like,
I thought Laura had already told us at our last meeting that going to $80 an hour, 134 and 40 were 50%.
Gets us to
If
50%.
If we
it's not
do,
even
yeah, if we
close.
do $80 an hour for the small field,
That's what I
134 and then 35 for the lights gets us to $348,000 in income, assuming
About
everything stays the same.
35%.
So of the 577,000. So 347 of 577 is more than
I'm okay with
50%.
35% and picking up the 15% in the following year.
Yeah, no capital,
No capital.
no capital.
So that's
you
just
good
the
with that?
347 out of the
But I'd also
578,000.
like to increase the lights,
Oh,
From
yes, I'm fine with
30
that.
37 to 50.
But what does
Dollars
that
an
get
hour.
you, though? That's not even, that doesn't even cover your costs.
It's covering half.
It's
Covers
covering
more than it
half.
covers if you don't raise it.
At least, at
Covers
least.
more than,
You're talking just
we'll get
increasing the lights,
everything
period,
to
without doing any
50%.
capital.
No, doing it.
Oh,
So
doing it.
Then
it's gonna be
we
95.
go
so
to
instead of
staff
saying
and say,
95,
staff,
but what are you gonna do
Give
for
us,
that?
Another break for another
give
year.
us a 2 or 3 year plan as to how we can bring this from 50% up to 100%.
Okay, I understand that, but what is your plan for the capital? You're going to raise that 37 to 50. What are you going to do for that?
You're going to replace the lights.
Here, can I
Totally
make a
opposed to that. That's
suggestion?
$900,000. That's, no,
Can I make a suggestion?
that's throwing money down a rat hole.
So we've heard,
Oh, but it's our rat hole.
from the leagues is they're going to be spending it regardless of how we feel about the subsidization is the end game is what am I getting out of this added increase,
You already
right?
got, that's the answer. You already
Understood,
got.
understood. But with lighting improvements, with an added parking lot, you
see
have.
it as an improvement. Okay, I
You
get
see it as an improvement. The parking lot We know a parking lot has probably a 40-year life, if not longer. $2 an hour, you're gonna recover your parking. That's gonna happen.
I get that.
Lighting, questionable. The beauty of the lighting as a service, we could honestly, we could fight that either way. The end all be all is, so Tetra Tech's EOPC for the parking lot's $500,000. You're looking at $750,000. Either way you cut the lighting, if it's lighting as a service, the big difference between this lighting as a service is, do we do a 10-year borrowing or five-year bank borrowing, or throw it to the bond, which the bond is a whole different animal, or do you put the $6,500 a month plus $60,000 in your O&M and run it through the math? And every year your O&M, you're going to have that. The risk, I mean, we can work through a service provider agreement and have an out, but the beauty with lighting as a service is there are no O&M. The light goes out, you call them up, come fix the thing.
And didn't that include the way to control the lights also?
And
I
I will tell you this,
I think if
regardless
you
of,
had better lighting, you would have the opportunity of renting more later into the evening.
well, I will tell you this.
Which is what you might be able then to attract adult sports.
Yeah, I mean, where the gap is field leasing additional time, and the open windows for those are after 9 o'clock, when a lot of times the leagues are done by 9:30. But I will tell you, regardless of the increase, if you want a way, the most noticeable thing that parents will see, coaches will see, players will see, is the lighting increase. If regardless of whatever the leagues are, would say, we got to increase whatever, when a parent goes out there and they see the lighting difference, and it will be significant, that alone will probably justify or warrant any increases that we do, regardless.
And I'm hoping that we could attract some adult
And
leagues
293.
that would.
Well, we need a program
will rent
person to
at
go and
9
promote
o'clock,
and
10
run those
o'clock,
leagues
11
and-
o'clock
5 years,
at
5
night.
years.
Listen, it's World Cup. I can go to Brazil if you guys fund it. I can get like a soccer team to come over here.
If
Right,
you
Bob? Bob, you want to go with me
Brazil,
instead?
Brazil, Brazil.
I can go to Brazil. I can get 2 or 3 soccer players.
if you
I
do
volunteer to go with her to
I will go
Brazil.
to,
if you do
it's
the
fact
lighting-
finding.
Close the door and we'll go.
If you do the lighting on the lease to avoid the long-term risk, and your number of 6,500 is correct, that's 78,000 a year. 78,000 divided by the 800 hours you said is $112 an hour.
That is a minimum
That's
you would have to
nowhere
do.
near $37. Nowhere near. And that's nowhere near 50%.
That's,
So if you're gonna go with the lease, which at least you can, it's a pill you can swallow, that the risk we're taking on the capital, we've eliminated that. But we've only eliminated it to the point of what we're willing to subsidize it. So 112, if you do the same subsidy on that, that would be what, $56. So 37 to 56 and go from there. But that doesn't include any parking either. I mean,
So,
anytime
Laura-
you go, all we're doing, we're just going in circles, trying to come up revenue that doesn't exist.
trying to set a fee for future is what you're doing. So Laura ran the numbers on an amortization schedule for 1.25 million for, that would be the parking lot and the lights. It's $294,000 for a 5-year, 5% bank loan,
5.5.
5.5% bank loan, which we
That's
know
our P&I, 294?
P&I would be 294,000.
294 per year for 5 years.
5 years. So total interest is 214,000.
294,000 divided by 800 hours.
That's for parking lot too.
It's parking lot and lights.
Or
And if you're bringing in the parking and you're bringing in generating $40,000, and what's the parking component of that 294?
It's not, the parking lot is
Yeah.
500,000.
No,
Of
when
the
you
cost?
say 294,000 a year,
That's,
what component of that is parking?
I don't understand.
Well,
You
it's-
did-
it's
the
both.
total-
It's lights and
It's lights
parking.
and parking.
half,
So what's the parking component?
$500,000 of the 1.25 million.
118.
118. and you're bringing in 40,
Well, no, it would be more with the extra parking lot. That's with the
you're not bringing
existing,
in enough revenue.
Well, and you also, but there's parking revenue as well, right?
that is 40,000 was what they're predicting for the lots, the way that
Did
they.
you calculate that? Did
today.
you add that into?
I did.
Okay.
You can't add that twice because you're already using that to offset to what they're paying now.
Well, you would have the
We're double
added
dipping it.
you would add the added parking lot, the number of spaces.
Which is not in that number. So the $40,000 a year for parking is based on our existing parking lots and parking
Yes.
availability.
Yeah. So
A third. Put in a
the
third.
118
figure another
additional,
50,
how much
52.
revenue is going to be generated by it alone?
For the what? The parking lot?
Yeah, you you said
Yep.
118,000 is
Yep.
the cost per year for the parking
For 5 years.
for 5 years. What is the revenue where's the
many
revenue
spaces?
stream to pay for that at?
The parking itself would only bring in about 112, but we could adjust for it in the rates for the
112
fields.
per year, $112,000 per year.
Yes, $117,000 a year for just the parking lot.
No, I think we're asking about the new one, the one that doesn't exist yet, right? That's what you're asking.
Yes.
How many additional
much
spaces,
additional?
how many additional revenue?
It's 3 times what we're
Take
bringing
a
in
take a
right now.
third of they're projecting what 40,000.
40,000.
Probably another 20K.
Yes.
At the best, yeah. I would say that's optimistic, yeah. So of the 117,000, about 20,000 of it would get offset by parking.
The alternative is you could just choose to borrow for the lights I mean, you could borrow a 5-year bank loan for the service provider agreement for the lights.
What is useful life for lights?
10 years is safe. You could probably do it
How old are
longer.
those?
30 years.
We did 30.
OG,
25.
Yeah, those have been standing for 25. We've done some maintenance to them, but that's why they have to be replaced. The lumens on there on average are 8 to 12, and it should be operating at 25 to 30. The number, like, it is significant. I mean, staggeringly
What's
low.
the,
Bad, really bad.
is there any penalty on this lease agreement? Can we
I
terminate it on
I
an annual
haven't- I
basis?
I just listened in on the phone call, so we didn't really get any details.
I haven't even gotten into that.
Kind of useful life.
See, I'd be more interested in doing that than
that's-
spending the money.
I
But the bond is,
surmised.
we have no say, the bond person would be the one say.
It was basically to just learn about. What specifics?
Because right now, we're just gambling on spending $900,000 to do lights, and we don't even know we have anybody to use them right now. We're not generating the revenue.
keep in mind, so this is a couple things about this lighting as a service. And I'm going to be frank, this is new. You asked about FPL. FPL and this company they were going down this joint venture. I think they're kind of doing this on their own accord now without going through FPL. And I just got this quote literally at 5 p.m. last night from them.
so
I've
do-
got to do some comps on
So
it.
do they bring in lighting then and essentially lease lighting?
They bring in they have a partnership with Cooper Lighting, and they come in, they run, they do everything. If there's an upgrade, a potential upgrade, they bring in the upgrade. It's supposed to be a turnkey system. I haven't gotten
At the
into
lease, do you own the equipment?
you have options.
So you can buy it, or they come and they take all the lights and then there's no more lighting.
Okay, but
Because, I mean, all
guys,
we need is, if all
we are on the fee schedule.
I know.
Well, anyway, we're trying to figure out how to make this thing work.
He's an electrician
And
by trade. He
I
doesn't
understand
think
that,
now,
but she
which is
doesn't
why
have
she's
enough
more
information right now at this moment in time to give you that. So let's get back to the fee schedule.
We've already done the
I'd like to
replacement.
increase the $37 to $50 an hour.
fine with that.
I'll second 30, whatever.
Okay, so just write it down for Laura. Do you need a motion or you just direction?
No, because this is just a discussion.
Okay, so just
and
go
you-
ahead.
you
No, we have a motion on the table.
Oh, okay, so we have a motion, we have a
And
second by
then
Bob.
when
All-
we're done, we will add an amendment to it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Carol to raise from 35?
Seven.
37 to
To
50,
50.
second by Bob. Any more discussion? No, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, 3-2.
Do you want me to move to eliminate the $5?
Yes, ma'am.
I will also move to eliminate the $5. What was it called?
Just a
It's
second.
not on the
That line
screen
up
right
there.
now.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Because I think that we
You
need,
want to keep it at the crack?
no, there were further discussions that you all wanted to have, and we have time-sensitive items that really we need to push through for a public hearing to implement, so these leagues are on notice, so they can start leasing for the fall, and we can implement these
Okay,
fees.
we won't talk about it anymore, but we can go ahead and eliminate the
So-
$5.
So the Gateway recreation membership card, table all of that discussion.
Was everything in red?
That under Gateway
this.
recreation membership card, table all of that,
Ending part.
pending further discussion. Let me just skim so I can,
I think there was
Comments?
something else that we talked about, but it wasn't
Gateway
legally-
Commons park classes, pickleball leagues, food truck space rental. Hold on.
Nothing under food,
I know.
truck, space.
What is storage rental?
Rent the storage rooms.
To keep their stuff so they don't have to haul it back and forth.
And that if you can table those specific items and continue with the rest. So I'll recap, go up. The Gateway Recreation membership card, the Gateway Commons Park classes.
I like those as we go. Don't you have access? So
It's
we
a
know
PDF, I can't.
She can.
We can just.
Oh,
highlight
well,
what's being
I can
tabled.
do this, but it's gonna change as soon as I go to something else.
Do the Gateway Commons Park class. Pickleball leagues.
Things are
It's to
minimal
be
compared to the
determined
big ticket
anyway.
items.
Pickleball leagues. And there's nothing under food truck, space rental anyway. It's just got a question
Do
mark.
that. Okay. Now I'm going to pause there. So those items we need further discussion on. But I wanted to call out, go back up. Another point of conversation, since we're talking the fee schedule and it's not on here, but it's later on in your agenda, is well, let me ask a point of order for Tony. Tony, for purposes of scheduling a public hearing, do we need a final proposed fee schedule?
We need a document that we need to then publish and provide in the advertisement, yes.
Okay, so there are two other items. There are the request from the leagues for a non-resident seasonal parking pass, which would go on here.
Use your revenue again.
Yeah, I'm opposed to that.
Okay, and
And
what's the other one?
the other item is for the dog park pass holders. Do they get parking as part of their dog pass? We didn't think through that, if I'm
I
being
would
complete.
say gateway residence is free, non-gateway residence not free.
So if I'm a non-resident and I pay to use the dog park, I not only have to pay to use the dog park, now I have to pay to use a parking pass. Pay for a parking pass.
If you're a non-resident.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't want to be splitting the hairs, you know, and I do believe that.
If you live in Gateway and you bring your
It's free,
dog
yeah.
over to, you already have a pass to
A
park
great
there
example is
at no cost.
if you participate in, let's say if you're playing in the soccer league and you're a non-resident, you're paying to play in the league and you're also paying to park.
The difference is we are the controller of the complex. we're the ones issuing, we're up for the dog park, we're the ones managing the dog park, so it's almost.
Non-residents get the benefit,
And they-
non-residents do not.
Well, residents and non-residents pay for the dog park. Both pay for the dog park.
Both
Non-residents,
residents and non-residents pay to play in leagues, regardless of who's the operating entity, the principle is still the same. You pay for the use or the privilege of being in the league or the amenity that you're using. Parking for non-residents is separate. If you're a resident, you don't pay for that because that's the benefit of being a resident. But if you're a non-resident, you still have to pay. I don't see a problem with that. Start splitting hairs if you're saying, well, we're the operating entity.
So
Doesn't matter.
if you're a non-resident and you bring your dog over here, yes, you got to pay for parking.
Same thing, let's say future state. If I'm using the pickleball, let's say we're charging for parking in all of our areas. If I go to play pickleball, if I'm a resident, I don't pay to play pickleball, I don't pay to park. If I'm a guest, I pay for my pass to play pickleball, and I will also pay to park. I think that would be the same.
It's consistent,
That would be consistent.
yeah.
okay. This is just something that came up with staff that we were thinking.
Devil's in the
for-
details. We're gonna run into
Yeah.
these
I-
scenarios.
So my resident dog park pass gets me, my dog access to the park, but I have to pay to park as well.
Two different operating entities, two different maintenance schedules,
Yes.
I think that's the only way that we can do it in order to be consistent across all facilities.
Okay,
Okay,
next.
I move to table the highlighted items.
Till we get more data.
Yes.
I agree. Second.
I'll call it for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Can you just explain to me the field rental for non? Rent the field as a non-resident for a birthday party, or maybe I just want to, have a drop-in game or something. That's what we're saying. We're charging $100 an hour for a non-resident to rent a field for unorganized or non-league play. Is that what you're saying?
An organized event. So if I just want to do a pickup and I want to go out there and I want to rent the field for an hour,
That should not be cheaper than the league cost.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there should be a premium on that for non-gateway residents, because there's nothing that's gonna stop people from saying, I need a permit, I'll pay $100 every Wednesday from 6 to 7
Well, that becomes
and
unorganized.
run a, drop-in league.
well, then
I think
you're-
that has to be, I think that should be $200.
I don't know that we've ever had that, but it has it's come up as, if I have a birthday party that they want to rent the pavilion, but they also want to use the field space, then
Well, that's different. I think that's a different fee. If you're having an event and you're renting the pavilion, you can rent one of the fields, let's say for $100. But if I don't have the pavilion, or if it's not an event, then I think $100 that cannot be less
agree.
than our leagues.
okay, so then we can just eliminate that and just say non-field rental, period.
At least it should be 150.
Field
Field
rental,
rental other than organized league. I agree.
don't even worry about organized, unorganized. It's
Well, it
field
doesn't matter. The
rental,
cost is the cost.
field rental.
Yeah, field rental.
So we can remove that
I mean,
item.
if you go to Sky Zone, you're going to pay $300, $400 to use their facility. So
But it's really non-league field rental.
non-league,
Because you have league rental rates. So the next grouping is non-league field rental.
With the 150.
is that the
I mean, I'm just looking at the schedule.
the verbiage here is the difference between unorganized versus league.
Yes, I guess, that's what I'm saying. So it'd be non-league rental would be the next four.
I would simplify it and just keep your field rental is your field rental, period. It's your call, I mean, it is what it is.
So
And
whether
delete.
it's league or non-league, you're paying the same hourly rate.
Yep,
Make it easier.
And
They don't
I thought
have
you were gonna
to.
have a
I think our
different rate.
league should get a little bit of a discount versus someone just coming in off the street looking to rent the field, but that's, you know. I mean, it doesn't happen a whole lot anyway, but, I mean, we should be promoting that. So if you get 20 people that show up on the field, we could say you have to have a permit. Should that be the same cost as the leagues who who lease in bulk? Should be getting a discount? I think it should be.
More?
It should be more. It should be at least 150.
I'm okay with 150.
I would even go, I mean, for non-residents, I would even say $200, but
I'd go for
150
that.
at a minimum, 150 at a minimum.
Wants to change
Can I
it?
make a motion to amend it?
So you take the 50 to, instead of to 100 to 200?
I would say take it from either 150 or 200 for non-league.
I think you go to 200.
Non-gateway residents,
Non-gateway
unorganized.
residents, unorganized.
Yeah, unorganized, non-league. So I make a motion that we change the rate for the field rental for non-gateway residents, unorganized, non-league to, from 100 an hour to 200 an hour.
With a
Second.
But I don't think you need a 2-hour minimum on that.
I agree, because they most likely only do it for an hour.
Would be for the rich.
You're saying if it's a 2-hour minimum, then it would be
These are
$100 per
non-residents.
hour.
$400.
These are non,
The 2-hour minimum is, you know, better. Play for an hour, they're gonna be there for.
Two.
They're
They're hanging around, getting early.
Yeah, I mean,
Getting there early practice, so that's what- But it's like
So
2
you're
hours.
getting $100 an hour back to $100, so I guess I see it.
I mean,
I see
that's
the
why I
same.
would say, look, I
Have
would
to
say
begin with.
200, and they're probably, if they go over, at least you're recouping your cost. I don't,
So you want to remove, so was it to remove the 2-hour minimum on that? Because then as soon as you remove that 2-hour minimum, the rest is going to say they don't, that
You just got here.
they want it to, remove the 2-hour minimum on the rest.
well, I don't think you need a minimum for residents. a
No, they
2-hour
need for the
minimum.
leagues.
Yeah, well, the leagues are going to have more than 2 hours.
So you're changing 50 to 200.
Yeah, I mean, if I was really splitting hairs, I would say it's 200 for the first hour, and, well,
no.
you can't do that, because if you,
Just
I'll
do the
just rent it for 4
200.
hours.
200,
Just
yeah.
200 an hour, that's what it is.
Somebody pay
And we have a
$400
motion
minimum.
Motion and
to-
a second
No,
to
no.
Yep,
increase from
we read that.
$50.
I think,
Doug already made a motion and
but the motion is, and that would be
Bob
the
seconded.
hourly rate, and I don't think you need a 2-hour minimum on that.
Just if I could, when we did our research before we did Facilitron, the majority, well, actually, I think all of the facilities that I looked at, they have 3-hour minimums for rentals, for anything. So we're even at our 2-hour minimum, we have
Okay,
a
I'm
lower
fine with that.
minimum
Then
hourly
keep the 2-hour
rental.
minimum in, and it'll cost $400 for you to rent the fields. You have to rent them for
So
a
we have a
minimum of 2
motion
hours.
by Doug to, yes, Tony?
Tony?
It'll be $600. 3-hour minimum, $200.
No, we're just going to keep it at
No,
2
2
hours.
hours.
Okay.
We're going to keep
I
it
said
2 hours.
when I did my research, when we were trying to set the minimums, almost everybody is at 3.
Okay.
So,
So we have a motion by Doug to raise it to
Yeah, I second it.
the non-gateway residents to $200. Second by Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
or we're leaving the gateway at 50.
Moving on.
40.
Moving on, we're moving on.
Now,
And lightning
before-
speed.
Before,
I think now you need a entire thing as amended by the motions in between.
Okay, so
And the motion would be to approve it for purposes of setting a public hearing. You're not adopting it tonight. You're approving this for
Yeah, we-
purposes of using it to set the public hearing.
what date did we select?
Did we say June 4th or not?
June
You wanna
4th,
do
the
it
next
one?
meeting. Yeah.
June 18th?
If it gets pushed tomorrow, is that sufficient timing?
Make the notice in the paper?
Yeah.
That's up to, we need minimum 10 days.
That fits it
I'm
then.
sorry.
That'll get us within 10 days.
If you can get it in tomorrow with the weekend coming up.
Yeah, true,
They short-staff themselves a lot.
Oh, holiday too.
true.
Okay,
I get it.
Tony, what is the motion?
Motion would be to approve for advertising and setting a public hearing, the rate schedule and fee schedule as submitted and revised.
Setting,
That's what I said.
Thank you. Are you okay with that?
setting a public hearing for?
Well, and what date? That's the question. What date do you want to have and what time?
Be the second meeting in June then.
No, it'll be the 1st, the 4th. I think we can get it in
You
in
can get,
time.
you
Yeah,
have to get it in tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah,
We will.
Georgia's got it all laid out. We just needed to
What I
finalize
would
the
suggest is
numbers.
that recommend, schedule it for June 4th, unless there are difficulties getting the notice in the paper, then have it June 18th. That's the direction.
Yeah, I don't think I can make the 4th, so I'm not that, just throw that out there if somebody else got an obligation.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second
So
it.
you have the latitude, Chelsea, in case.
So we have a motion, but whatever Tony says, Carol said, bye, Ed. And then all in favor, say aye.
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 Be a quiz at the end of the meeting, you gotta read it back.
Y'all want to talk budget
Yes.
now?
Do you want this?
Yes.
That's the part of the budget that, to me, was the budget.
Yeah, that's not-
That's the issue of what we've been talking about.
Could we go to the,
The rest of the stuff and then budget at the end?
no, that first chart
Oh.
where it's got the percent of changes and all
Yeah.
the total figures and that last percent
31.
change? That one.
I'm working on it. I had to get to the page first.
I would like to add to the 002 account $150,000 to be put in reserves. And my two concerns are, first of all, this year, we are scheduled to do the repaving of Pelican Preserve Boulevard from tree line to the four-way stop. It's the major street with the most wear and tear on it of it. That's where more traffic comes through than on any other part.
Go to the next one. That helps what
And
she needs.
that is, the bids are coming in next week.
Here's what you want to look at. So you want to add 150,000
Wait,
to
wait, wait.
reserve to one of these silos.
It would go under admin.
It
For
would-
Pelican.
yes,
There,
For
Pelican
Pelican, it would be
admin, yes.
Pelican
It would
admin.
be Pelican
In other words,
admin.
we're gonna wipe out the big reduction. We don't want it to be a minus 8%. We'd much rather have it closer to 0.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And it would only be assessed to Pelican, the 150,000.
Correct.
And on top of that, PPAC has started to discuss, they are nowhere near anything but a new entrance design, which will not happen this next year, probably the year after.
We'll need the money.
But so that we would have some money to start putting aside for it. It's probably going to be one of those projects where we're going to have to put some money aside this year, some money aside the next year, and maybe in the third year, we'll actually do it, type thing.
Yeah, if we don't sell the parcels.
And because
You are
Where are
good.
you putting that 150 is what I'm trying to get to.
It'll go under this.
I mean, is it single family or multifamily or?
It'll get spread.
Goes in the
It'll
total.
get spread, yeah. So what, the result of adding that $150,000 is it
I
takes,
forgot Ed, you give it to everyone.
I'll wait for you guys to stop crinkling.
also,
It takes the single family up to 3%. So instead of a minus 2.3.
and a lot of times, I've done a lot of budgeting, and it seems like when you reduce a budget or reduce a tax, number one, people think, well, how come you didn't do this before? And number two, if you can do it once, why can't you do it twice? Why can't you do it 3 times? Why can't you do it 4 times? And it becomes an expectation. I think it's better budgeting if you have a small increase every year.
Annually.
So I would like to I'd like to bring that single family up to 3%. I think there is a little bit reduction in multifamily. But by doing that,
So you're saying the 2.3
Well, rather than
negative goes.
150,000, how much do we generate if we take that to 0.1 or something?
Just a minute, please.
how
If you
much
want to
we
take it to
generate if
what?
what?
How much do we generate if we take it from -8 to 0.1?
You're trying to get the multifamily up to
Well,
3?
well, both of them, get them both to 0.1. And what does that generate for
Well,
reserves?
But we're doing this for high water mark. So I wanted to go to 3%
Okay.
for high
water mark.
water. And then
Okay.
let them discuss, and if they want to bring that down to more like 2% or something like that, fine, you know.
So you go from a -2 to a +3.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Carol,
Yes.
and Flavia, because I don't know that we said yes or no to the lights and the parking lot earlier. I know that that decision may impact what you're trying to do. Do you want to have that conversation before?
Or do you want to just give me the direction
Well, we're
to?
talking about budget, so we can talk about that right now.
Yeah, we can adjust it if it doesn't fit.
You want to adopt the high water mark budget, approve it until the June meeting, correct?
Correct. But I know that if there are added parks items, then that's going to impact the Pelican to more than her potentially 3% that she's trying to do.
I see, okay.
But then we would have the ability to
It's
reduce
gonna
it,
reduce anyways.
to reduce the reserve part of it.
Correct.
By how much the other increased, or
Yeah.
some combination thereof.
Okay, so you'd like to add 150,000 to reserves under the admin section for Pelican?
Well, I thought we were gonna go to a 3% increase for high
And
water
that-
mark.
That does take the single
Laura
family
tells me
to a 3%.
150,000.
Great,
I did the math.
good. Okay,
150 will take it to 3%.
Correct, for single
For
family.
single family.
Yes.
It'll take it to,
Exactly 3%, actually. I messed around with the numbers and it's exactly 3%.
what will it do to multifamily?
I have that, just a second.
Probably gonna stay negative still.
It will still be negative, yes.
Well, we don't want them to be negative, but whatever, okay.
It actually, let me see, oh, where'd my sheet go? It takes it to, the
Thank you for dinner.
150,000. It's 3.1% for single family and negative 2.8 for multifamily, so
I'm good.
it raises about 5%,
Pistachios.
6%.
Bob, did you hear that?
No, he wasn't listening.
5% swing, Bob.
5% swing.
so it takes it from a -8.7.
-8 to -3?
Minus
To
2.8, yeah.
2.
Okay, starting
Put
point.
the pins in the 15 before.
But as Chelsea said, that doesn't include any adjustments that you would make to the Parks and Rec budget, which will have, because your share is so small, it honestly won't have it shouldn't have a large effect on the
Our
overall.
chair is so small,
Your share is small.
I don't think so.
Your proportionate share.
Yes. Your contribution.
I think it's outrageous, but
Not a total.
Taking the snacks away, guys. Okay.
So I would like to make that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Add $150,000 to the Pelican Reserve.
To make it a 3%.
Allocation.
Okay, so 150 is second by Bob, all in favor?
Aye.
Done.
Where would you, Flavia, you want to have?
Every time I turn around to get her something, she calls me. What is it?
Where would you like to go from here with the budget
I was gonna give
discussion?
it to Carol.
You,
Yeah, I was talking, I didn't get
for
it.
the cookies?
Oh, no, I'm gonna go for the cookies.
Oh, okay.
And everything else.
Okay.
The rest of the budget was,
I think I'm gonna have one of my kids sell hot dogs at the next meeting.
Okay,
Was
so, question.
It's salty. One
If
salty.
we did,
I'm gonna get my
Lights.
pistachios. You guys are making me hungry.
if we did lights and a parking lot, which is what Doug was talking about, how does that change Parks and Rec?
Depends on how you want to fund it.
Exactly.
If you want to fund it through a 5-year bank loan that we do a P&I on 5.25%, and run it through O&M, we have that number. Or run it through the old methodology and do a bond. And Pelican pays nothing into that.
Or the lease.
Or the lease for the lights. The parking lot is still, the parking lot, I didn't include that, but I would assume you guys,
Release the parking lot?
we could after it's built, we could.
Can you run lights through the bond since they only have a 10-year life?
Yes. You would just pay your P&I would be over a 20-year span. The bond borrowing is set on a 20-year borrowing, no matter what, no matter,
the lifespan?
no.
Oh, okay.
It's a 20-year. So whatever you put into a new bond borrowing, if it's point repairs, if it's repairs on the stormwater system, if it's Parks and Rec stuff, you're going to be paying on whatever borrowings you're doing for 20 years.
It doesn't meet the 20-year criteria for useful life.
It's not a criteria.
Doesn't matter, okay.
No.
I thought it
It's
was.
the term of
It's good business is
good
what it is.
business, but the term of the borrowing would be 20 years. And we set that early on because we wanted to maximize. Now, we've bought stuff
Well, the stuff that we were doing had lives way beyond that.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay.
So Doug, what are your thoughts on that?
So, yeah,
To me, there's a lot of moving parts. One is we're making an effort to increase the dollar amounts to get us where we need to be. And there are things, I mean, I'm telling you, when I say the lights need to be done, they really need to be done. But that also needs to work hand in hand with staff, making greater efforts to reduce operating and maintenance costs. And we need to get a program manager in whose sole job is to bring in new programs, drive revenue, and to manage the ones that we have. So,
Yeah. We're kind of like past that.
We already know that needs it,
Yeah, okay. Let's
So which
talk-
way we
how-
go
how
for
are you gonna-
funding?
Of the three options that Chelsea gave,
I go
What
with
are
the one
your
that has the
thoughts?
least amount of impact to our residents right now.
okay,
the
so,
lease.
which is the lease.
Yeah, probably the bond, right?
so Laura's plugged in the 5-year, 5% borrowing P&I for the 1.25 million, which is the parking lot and the lights. That impact,
I gotta make sure that it pulled into the silo, hang on.
give it a second, because then your P&I would be your principal and interest payment for 5 years, each year, 1 year. That would get plugged into your O&M is 294, so she's running those numbers to see what that would be. I'm on a diet, and
That
you
would be
guys are eating in front.
That'd be 294 divided by what number of,
She's running the numbers.
I know, I'm just curious, what number would,
You can't cut it like that because the Pelican's 0.15.
well, yeah, I was just trying to figure it out if Pelican was. It's like, you open that first bag of chip. Leads to the second bag.
$294 a year.
And then, like,
And it's the equivalent's about 5,300, including Pelican at 0.15. So just divide the number. 294,
Really not hungry for dinner.
I'm fine, thank you.
No, we didn't offer him to eat it
I've
first.
got my nuts.
We did, he denied them.
Sorry. Thank you. Your water, sorry.
Yeah, you did some of it.
$56 roughly.
House.
$56 per house per year in the budget.
This is not on my diet.
So far, Ed is the only one that's being really good. He only had one. All of us had two.
I had 0 because that is not on my diet.
good for you.
Yeah, we'll eat it
More
for
for
you.
you, more for you, please,
You
enjoy
didn't
them.
eat lunch though, did you?
I did. I made lunch. It was horrible, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Tim had 2 bites and he kept looking at me and said, "You can throw it out if you want."
Okay, so Flavia,
on
while
SharePoint,
she's running
so
the
it
numbers,
sucks.
what are your thoughts? Of the three options,
To me, I would go with the least, just for the reason that we can pull it out. And it won't, like, what if nobody rents the fields and the lights? That's what I was thinking. But then you also said 10 years, so that's the part that I needed clarification. It's $6,800 a month, $6,500 a month, so $78,000 a year, but on a 10-year lease. So we're going from $780,000 that we don't own to $900,000 that we own. So then I'll take the 900,000. So that's the only thing that,
Ed, what, of the three
And
things,
the
what do
risk,
you?
the risk is the payment. If they skip on us in 2 years, we eat it for 8 years. So the lease, looks like to me, it offers us the opportunity of an out if it doesn't work.
I have not negotiated any type of contractual stuff. Again, this is all fresh. But keep in mind, so
Check
can
and
you
see.
have something by June 4th?
Yeah, just find out from them what the deal. The big thing is there a penalty or early penalty for withdrawal? In other words, do you have to commit to 2 years, 3 years, or is it year by year period?
I'm pretty sure it's a 10-year term.
Yeah. And it's if you
It's a
pull
what?
it out.
10-year term.
No ability
So
to
you have
pull
to
out.
pay for 10 years whether you.
I don't know if there's an out and how much you would have to pay to.
In your term, then you're back to the deal and there's no differential.
Exactly, so then I prefer, you know what I'm saying? That's,
Then we want equity.
and so that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If it's 10 years
We're gonna
and
have the
I'm
answer.
gonna get nothing, then I'm not gonna go for that. If
And
it's,
there would be zero maintenance for us. A light goes out, we'd call. Whereas if we owned them, we'd look at the caveats, the asterisks of the warranty.
That's minimal on a new
We have
facility
Bill.
for 10 years.
we have Bill. He hasn't forgot his stuff, right, Bill? He's probably here.
What's your number?
It's about $70 a month for a gateway single families if
Yeah,
we
that's-
had that in.
That's minimal
I
on
mean,
a new
$70
facility.
increase,
I
not a
wouldn't
month.
worry about that.
$70 total. It goes from this 1040 up to 1098, but I got,
The fact that you
I'm
build up
like
that equity is a
95%
big,
confident
big
in my
difference.
number. I did it really quick and it was fighting me, so.
So we could buy and again, we could buy, it's $1.25 million regardless. You put it in a 5-year bank borrowing and you rip the Band-Aid off, you do the things, and, or you choose to do the full bond gamut, which you're gonna pay bond counsel, you're gonna go through all that stuff.
HIPAA
and you-
validation, whole 9 yards.
We have ongoing trustee fees and,
Yeah, or, yeah, if it's a new bond issue, you have to validate it then
At this
too.
point in time, I can't answer the question now that we throw in the deal of what the term of the agreement is. We need an answer to that before I can make a decision.
And it's the same how I feel. It's because,
You gotta
I
know
feel-
that. Because if you gotta buy a, or enter into a long-term agreement with them, what the hell's the difference?
Would you rather divide it over 20 years then?
No, not really. 20 years paying
So-
for it with a 10-year life, that just don't make sense.
So that's my point, is no matter what, you're still looking at 1.25 million. You're either gonna do a five-year bank borrowing, because that's the maximum you can do without going through a bond validation, or you're running that through the old methodology and Pelican does not pay into Parks and Rec.
Okay, Bob?
So the longest stretch of impact, to Doug's point, how to minimize your impacts to your residents, would be the longest borrowing on 1.25 million would be 5 years, and you would pay your 294 P&I per year.
and it would be an impact of $70 per year for a gateway single
5
family.
years.
For 5 years.
Which could go back to your rates
schedule.
and your fees and going back
the
to
reduction
capture
that way, yeah.
to capture that.
'cause that's
Right.
that's
Well,
the total
again,
cost.
And
yeah.
and again, if we're expecting additional revenues for Parks and Rec, I can use that to help offset the cost, which should bring this back down a little bit. Right now, I'm very conservative for what I put in for revenue.
I
Still, like I say, I still want to find out what the terms
I
of the
agree.
lease are before we make a decision.
Okay, so are we saying then that we do want to do
Lights, we
lights
just don't know
and a
how.
parking lot in this budget year? And at the next meeting, we'll,
high
you
water
will
mark.
have run all the numbers and we'll take a vote on which method to use, but that she should go ahead and plug in those two capital items?
Well, I'll be making a motion at that meeting, once we get to it, no matter what we do, that we don't go past 50%. So if that means raising the 137 on the schedule to 187 or $200, that'll be the motion. I'm not going to sit here and just throw money away. We committed to 75%. We're backing off to 50%, and I'm not backing off any further than that. No way. This is getting out of hand. $56 a resident of the Gateway to pay for those lights with the risk? It's ridiculous.
That's $5 a month?
Well, see, I guess I don't see it as
$5
that
a
much of
month?
a risk.
You're only paying 15%.
No.
I'll
Because
trade, I'll tell you what,
I
I'll
think it's
trade you.
gonna
You pay
open up a
56, I'll pay 750.
I think it's gonna open up a whole new class of opportunity for people to rent those fields. And it'll be in the adult area, adult leagues that want to rent it for
That's where the
flag
opportunity.
football
Well, the,
or for, I don't know,
the opportunity is,
for cornhole.
the
Remember the guy
opportunity
who was here with
is later
cornhole?
at night. There's also Saturday afternoon and Saturday night that's wide open, that's not
And
used.
Sundays.
And Sundays are leveraged. What time for the adults?
He's usually out before it gets darker, right around the time, like noon to 4 or 5,
Noon-
something, I
noon to
think
4.
like
So
that.
he's doing
yeah.
4 hours all fields?
5s, yeah, I don't remember. It's been a little bit since
Yeah,
I
yeah,
looked
yeah.
at
So
it.
there are opportunities, but the biggest one is later at night with the adult leagues.
Right.
That's
Well,
where
if
if
you're
you
spending the
go,
money for
you go to
the
Collier
lights, you want to
County,
use the lights. Yeah.
those fields are, they're used until almost 12 o'clock at night.
Well, at night, it's a lot cooler too. I mean,
Right.
it's
And
prime
that's when
time.
the
You
ad-
can have
That's when the
lights.
adults can get on, because they gotta
Right.
get on after the kids.
After work, right.
Yeah.
And the adults don't want to sweat that much.
I said we put it in, and we can always pull it out if it doesn't make sense, because
It's high water.
And for just one thing, Chelsea, I know you talked about maybe a 5-year term. I don't know if you talked to First Horizon or some
did.
other lenders. Pardon?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I don't know what the rate is.
That's where I got the 5.5. So,
I'm looking at a commitment term sheet for River Ridge for 2.5 million, 5-year maturity for their capital projects, 5.17%.
that's what he said it is now, but he's expecting with everything going on that it should be up around 5.4 or 5.5 by the time we
This
would
is locked in
actually
for 30
get to
days.
it.
I'm just saying that's
So.
tax exempt, so.
Yeah.
That's another bank that just started up in Lee County with some business people from Lee County.
another bank in Lee County.
Yeah, no, it's Stillwell, Youngquist.
And I didn't reach out to
Oh,
Regions
them.
either, because I know they're looking to get some
The
more
president of
business.
Seagate Development,
But,
all those people.
okay, so I don't know what I'm doing
So
here.
Yeah.
I will
Oh,
move
yeah.
that we do lights and parking lot as capital projects. Financing to be determined at the next meeting.
We have a motion on the floor.
I'll second.
I have a motion, a second. No more discussion. Any more discussion? No? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
So just,
Is there any other area that we have not touched as far as, I don't know.
You mean on the budget?
Yeah.
I looked through it, I didn't see anything at all.
I
on
just
that.
wanted to bring to your, so that,
3 bags of
that
nut
helped.
butters.
But the only other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, which is new information to us, is for the enterprise fund. We have every year about this time, and we're gonna start to do these twice a year now, is the true up, right? You guys are familiar with what that is? They spent far more than they anticipated at the plant this last year, and so what we budgeted for Laura, which kudos to her, put in 100K for this year for true up, is closer to 300K. We're having conversations with them about,
They send us to prove what the.
they are,
it
they
started
have.
at 380 and we got it down,
They've
so-
tried before to throw in costs that we should not be
Yep.
Or-
participating in.
So we're going through that. We had the call with them this week. We have a follow-up call with them next week to try to reduce that. But I explained to them that we cannot every year increase, for the last 5 years, they've increased their operation and maintenance budget $200,000 at that plant. We cannot continue to afford a $200,000 increase every year for the next 5 years, on top of their 8% increases that they're doing every year, on top of so on.
This cost is solely treatment related.
Correct.
That is
And it's
what they have
operating or
said.
capital?
That it is,
It's both.
Both.
Yes. The majority of the cost is operating.
You have the original 380 and then you have the 300 now, so it's.
Like, it started at 376 and they got it down to like 266. They gave us, the original calculations didn't account for the FGUA connection, so we did get a $110,000 credit back on there, but they're going back through double checking usage, because,
Send us a deal
was
of
gonna
what
say,
the costs are.
yeah.
I want to read it.
I
so,
want to say send it, I'm okay with it, send it to Ed.
well, I haven't even had the chance to review it.
Neither
I'd be
have I.
happy to send it to you. I'm just letting you know that that was a surprise that we did not anticipate as part of this conversation. So that number in our proposed budget for next year is going to go up
But
because
that's
of
an
these.
enterprise
but that won't affect
calculation.
It
the
is.
assessments.
Correct.
But
It is,
Water, sewer, it's sewer. Okay, so it doesn't
It's-
impact irrigation at all? Or
correct.
irrigation rates?
Correct. So it's part of a budget discussion. It doesn't necessarily touch your assessments, but it is a budget discussion that I wanted to bring to your attention. That was a surprise. So we're working through it. We'll get you the details as we work through it further. They're pushing back with the city of Fort Myers, just like we're pushing back with them. So everybody's pushing each other. We're all throwing elbows.
What do you mean they're pushing back with the
They
city?
have a similar
They
situation
got a surprise as well with their true up.
between them and the county and the city. So they're in the same boat that we are with the city.
What's the city got to do with this wastewater plant?
Not us. The
On other
county,
issues.
the county and the city have a similar setup that we have with the county.
On another facility?
Yeah, so they're dealing with it. They're on the receiving end, just like we're on the receiving end, so they get it. They're willing to work with us. They're very flexible, but
Who's involved down there on this? Is that same gal down there still?
Vicki?
no, she retired. They haven't, they have,
Building department?
They have an interim, yeah.
they have
Tony?
Pam,
Do what?
Pam Keys retired. She retired. They have an interim director who's been serving as the interim and just continued to extend.
And they're following the terms and the conditions of the agreement?
So far,
Because there's some formulas in there that
there
they have to
is,
go
and that's
through.
what we're doing. We're
Okay.
going through, but
I just don't trust them. But let's look at it. But if it's wastewater treatment plant, that's a different deal, because if it gets into the collection system, then we may or may not have dog in that fight, but we do have over there. We got a
So-
responsibility.
from a holistic approach for this budget, this is a very lean budget that we are presenting to you, considering, 4% increases on some staffing costs. We've got 10% increases on FPL. So bringing this and showing this to you as it sits today, it's lean.
Well, we know the O&M is not gonna change much. You can't trim it, like, because if we could, we would have trimmed it last year, you know what I mean? Like, so that's the cost, and the increase is the increase.
Are you saying we need to increase the enterprise fund by $200,000?
We are
For high water mark?
So the enterprise
It could be a
doesn't go
rates
into
and
it.
charges
The enterprise
issues.
gets paid for through your water bill.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different animal because it's not an assessment.
Right.
Not an assessment, it's different. So
It's
like,
water bills.
There's gonna be an increase, but it's gonna be.
That's the cost that just goes on the bill.
It still needs to go into the budget.
I understand, but for budgeting,
Yes.
you used the
Yes.
$100,000
Yes.
figure. So for,
For your high water market, it's going to be
you're going to
considerably
have to
higher.
increase it to
Yes.
300,000.
Probably
for
four.
the high
I
water
probably,
mark.
yeah, 3.
So we will adjust the budget accordingly. But, so you will see a difference on the next version in the enterprise fund to account for that.
But it won't affect these tables.
So is there any other area that we have not, that you need some sort of direction on from us?
I think the only thing that I don't know, and The 150K with the lights in the parking lot, I have nothing to plug in. So I can't show you a table at the next meeting with what the impact of the parking lot and the lights are going to be until you decide how you want to finance them. As soon as you decide how you want to finance them, I can plug that number in and show you what the effect will be. But until there's too many variables, I mean, it's a huge swing depending on what you want to do. So just letting you know ahead of time, I'm leaving all of that as is. So the Parks and Rec assessment will change or not, depending on what you decide to do at the meeting in 2 weeks. I don't want to just plug something in until you decide how you want to
When's
finance.
the high water marks
Can you give
meeting?
us three options?
June 15th.
Not the next meeting, but the one
No,
after.
next meeting.
So then there's going to be a lot of changes going to have to be made at that, or made, a lot of decisions made at that next meeting.
I think that's the biggest one,
The
yeah.
intent, the goal would be to have those now. This is to me the last outstanding item for high water.
Correct.
Yeah, probably. I'd agree.
Because I got
Method of finance.
I have your capital, I know that true up is gonna have to go up, which doesn't affect these tables. It's if you want to do the capital and how you want to finance it and how much you want to do, so I know what to calculate for P&I, if we're gonna finance.
The financing, it's the only question for the financing. Old methodology, new methodology. That's really what it amounts to. Okay. So, or do the project or don't do the project, really. I mean, you've just voted to do the projects, so if you run it through current, you're doing a 5-year bank borrowing to keep your cost the lowest you can go. We'll run the numbers that way.
You go to page 28, and that tells it all right there. Look across Gateway Single Family, 3984, and look at the silos. People look at that, and that thing stands out like a freaking sore thumb.
What stands out, Ed?
The cost.
The cost.
$1,194,000 of our budget is for Parks and Rec, $373,000. The combination of roads and water are not even equal, or just equal to, I take it back, it's 1.5. Yeah, the cost of Parks and Rec is almost 4 or 5 times the value of water management and a little bit less than the roadway.
Oh, but look
It's
what we
just
have for
that
roads.
that
I
dog
mean,
just isn't going to hunt. Those prices are crazy. If it were a shared deal and used, that'd be one thing. But when you have 30, 40, 50% of the community that don't use it, that is, I mean, that's just going to stand out.
Got 100% of our community that don't use it.
Do what?
I said, I know what you mean. We have 100% that don't use it.
Right.
So I share your pain.
Well, and the challenge too
And
is,
to use your point,
like how, if you keep charging them, then they're not gonna use it, like
Well,
the small little things.
but there's also another thing too. I mean, we have made an investment into enhancing other amenities that are more central, like the Commons Park area. And we have to be careful we don't overinvest in one, which will limit us in enhancing, I mean, it would be great years down the road to actually have a resort-style pool or something that all more of the residents could be able to use. We're
Larger and
We're going
more-
to price
more-
ourselves out of enhancing other amenities by just focusing. And this is coming from someone that,
Well, what's tough is when you take the 574 that we talked about, or 592, whatever the number was, and put that in there against 1.1, that just stands out, 50%. You got the tail wagging the dog. That's the
well,
problem.
and one of the things this is what I tried to point out when Tim and Mark were here, when it's increasing, it's what percentage of what they pay us is a part of their total registration fees. When I do the math, it was like 40%, 35, 40%. That's.
Less profit and keep things the same. They want us to
it's
give the.
$200 for someone to play flag these days.
So I just want to, sorry, can you go to the capital sheet, Laura? Because we've all said new bond, but you have not decided to take out a new bond. So as of right now, The projects that are allocated as new bond are unfunded capital projects.
I didn't put the capital, I did the actual sheets. I didn't do the capital.
See what happens at the next meeting.
Yeah, I think.
So we're doing design on tree line sidewalks. We're doing design on Griffin sidewalks. We're doing the irrigation design for the road rights of way. We've got all of these things that we're spending engineering dollars on that you're not going to construct and you're not going to fund. So,
there are other areas we need to look at.
yes.
Okay.
Well,
That's not what you said a few minutes ago.
And then the other one
Okay.
is that you're ongoing trying to get communications with FPL to resolve this. See if we can get a town hall meeting for these people up there impacted by the new power lines. Well, like I said, I went out there and looked at it. If those towers that they're proposing to put in are resembling the ones that are out there, those things are huge. They're huge. You're not just going to go out there and tear up an area. Like we talked this morning, they could go out there and tear up an area and clear cut for the standards where the towers, but then leave everything else and only clear cut to 14 foot. That at least might be a happy medium for the people.
And we still heard nothing, right? There's just no response from.
I can give an update. Do you want me to do that now?
No, oh, that's super, no.
Okay.
Okay, so
Let's-
what?
Anything that says
If
new bond.
we did the new bond projects with, except for everything except for Parks and Rec, which you would only do lights and the parking lot, what would that be?
Just be told, Carol, if you're going to do a new bond, then
Just do all of it, because the price that you're gonna use for the planning.
The only thing I've got a problem with on that page is purely
Almost
just the
$11
ones
million.
under Parks and Rec. The others I don't have a problem with whatsoever. They're needed.
This out,
It's at 7
It's
million, which
down
is where the
to-
problem's at.
4,
So
or 3.9.
In a new bond, Pelican would
not pay. Pelican would not pay for any of this.
not pay.
Because it uses the old methodology where you did not pay into Parks and Rec.
I'm sorry, guys, you're confusing me. Okay.
So
Come on, you don't wanna name the fields?
Okay, well then I move to do all of the new bond projects.
Right, so we have a motion from Carol to go ahead and move with the bond project.
Inclusive or exclusive of the park.
Everything, I think, right? Everything,
Everything.
yeah, because you.
Because you
Yeah,
said
'cause
for high water mark, you got to do everything.
I mean, I would, because you're gonna pay for everything. If you decide to go for another bond later, you're gonna pay another $100,000 just to do that. Okay, so everything. So we have a motion on the floor for Carol, from Carol to go ahead and move with the bonds for everything that's listed in there.
For the
inclusive-
preliminary calculations.
Yes.
Preliminary calculation.
Only. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
that will clarify us for running the
Show us
numbers
the numbers.
for the new bond.
And we can pick and choose what we're going to do or not do.
Well,
And one other aspect, if you do new bond issue, are you talking about a new bond series or the validated bonds?
Series.
Series.
A new series. Yeah, so those assessments won't be levied until after, well,
Next year.
It may be next year, that's right.
You can do like we did before where we defer the,
What does that mean, Tony?
It all depends on when the bonds are issued.
Might be 2 years out before our residents.
Or it impacts the residents.
Yeah, because typically what happens, there's capitalized interest, that's part of the bond issue.
Okay.
And that will fund,
Deferred.
to fund,
So
until you
in
start
the
getting.
year you
first year.
actually spend the money of that new bond,
Right.
that gets added onto your bond.
Right.
Yeah, you may not get it, that may not be in your tax bill for the assessments that year. You're using
But it might be 3 or 4 years out before you ever
2 years probably.
get the whole impact, is what you're saying.
About 2 years, probably.
It would be, instead of November of 26, they would see it in November of 27, I'm assuming, like they did when we did it the first time, where they didn't see it until the
A year and
20,
a half
it was the year, it was because we did it around this time, and by the time we issued them, the first payment didn't come
It's a
until the
timing
next
deal.
time.
The payments are usually May 1st, November 1st, and I forget which one's interest only, the next one's P and I. So it just, again, it all depends on the timing.
Laura, did you have anything else for the budget?
No, that was because that helped me fill in the blank that I had, so thank you.
All right, so then we'll move into district manager monthly reports. Do you want to just pull it out there, and if you have any questions?
Anything for admin?
Oh, did I miss that?
We don't have monthly reports. That's next meeting, isn't
No,
it?
it's this meeting.
Oh, I thought it was second meeting.
This is the
Oh, it
second
is the
meeting.
second meeting. Man, I'm thinking it's June, I'm sorry.
Anything for admin? The only thing I want to call out is tomorrow is the district's 40th birthday.
Look at that.
Our 40th happy birthday.
And did you take a picture of something that's 40 years old that is still standing?
Can take one of you. You're only
I was
like
gonna say,
20.
yeah, or get some of the young staff. How old is Randy? Randy's in his,
Not 40.
He's not 40.
Yeah. All right.
Anything for admin? Anything for public works?
I just have one comment. I'll just say it now. You don't have to get up. Instead of doing it at the supervised comments, I just noticed, and it's the time of year, a lot more potholes on Gateway Boulevard and also in the edging, like by the charter school, I guess where they drive, which is outside. So that I know that once we pointed out that the white marking is missing, they do come right away. So I don't know if it's lightning that starts hitting the, I don't know what it is, but it's all over now. And usually this time it's more than it. That's the only thing I have for public work. Okay. Nothing else from anybody else? No? Okay.
Utilities?
Utilities?
So I heard that Bill had a suggestion for the lights.
Stop. Sit
Him
down.
and I have been texting during the meeting.
It's not a public works function. Bill's utilities.
Bill,
We're past
how
public
good are
works.
you climbing light
That's what I
towers?
said. I was like, Bill, you can do this, right? Like, I mean, yeah, we'll buy it. We'll get the repair. We get your Band-Aid.
It takes 2 cranes, 2 operators, and 4 to 6 men other than those operators.
Yeah, already went down because you said 6 to 8. So now you say 4 to 6. So see, I like it.
Already cut down.
To do what?
To do
Change
the
a
lights.
light bulb,
But understand,
But
But
be more
seriously,
specific, like
yeah.
to do what to the lights?
change the lights.
To remove it and put it
Remove
in.
them.
Yeah.
The thing is the fixtures you're gonna buy are like what's up there. They're no good.
Wait, say it again. What I'm gonna,
You need
The
new
fixtures that
fixtures.
we could buy,
Yeah.
huh?
they're no good.
Oh, okay, so it has to be,
Okay,
okay.
they're cheap. The thing about like the Musco system is it comes engineered, it
It's
comes,
good to go.
you know, it's very detailed, it's very aimed, it's got laser precision in it, and it's all built at the factory. It just has to be assembled at home,
Just plug it in?
okay?
Pretty much.
So
All right, fine.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
the letter came out, everybody in the community was talking about, the letter came out that the meter people are going to be coming in now and
I just
pulling
got-
the old meter, putting the new meter in. But there was no timeline or anything about what community is going to be when and all that.
You can come to the town hall.
Did
Oh, I
what?
just got a text, the email from the town hall.
June 1st.
So we did phase 1 meter box replacement. We did the entirety of phase 1 for meter installs in a town hall meeting.
So you're going to repeat whatever the
Same.
timing was to put the
We're-
original,
We're going to follow the same schedule and flow to go around because they're still finishing in phase 2. So,
yeah, they did come back and put in the sod.
yeah, they're in
So
there
it's
right.
looking a lot better
They're in there
now.
right now.
And of course, with the rain,
That
it
helps a lot
timed out
too.
pretty good.
Yeah.
They're gonna be caught up.
Yeah.
No questions for
We planned
Bill?
it that way.
Thank you, Bill.
No, all right, thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Great.
So then we kind of talk about the request. You want to bring this up, the request for the parking fee exemptions?
Is there a consideration that you want to offer a seasonal non-resident pass? Full transparency, I asked both Tim and Mark to provide the average length of stay, the number of weeks, so on and so forth. We've crunched the numbers. For one league, it would be $100. The other league, it's like $120. Would be our MAC.
But the bottom line is the $40,000 is now going to be reduced by how much?
Depends on what you, if you chose to
No,
reduce it or offer a pass.
A couple $100.
Do what?
By a couple $100.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not significant.
So the answer is we want to deny them.
No, honor them.
What?
I won't honor it.
so wait,
Is this
so
something-
here's the
do
thing.
we need to
If you're
vote on
gonna
this today?
honor, then this should have gone in the front on the fee schedule. Like, so if, I'm not saying that we couldn't, so then we need to make a motion to amend the fee schedule that we just did earlier there.
Oh, wait a minute.
We're talking referees and coaches only, right?
Okay, no.
No,
So
okay.
that's what I'm saying, this is mostly.
Maybe I'm wrong, okay.
Okay, so we have a request for them for a seasonal pass for non-gateway residents. So non-gateway residents will get a discount on the parking. Then that's what they want, okay? So for me, it would be a no. Because if anything, I would want to fight harder for the gateway residents to get a discount on something else.
Correct.
Right? Secondarily, I did follow up with Sam at the church, because remember when he was here, I asked him about allowing the refs and the coaches to
Right.
park there at no charge. Well, he responded to me today, or late last night. He says that one of the concerns is that they're not gonna have a park attendant. So they are afraid at the church that while they'll be willing to open for the refs and the coaches, that the parents start parking there. So the problem that we have here, they don't want it there, right? So then responded back with, well, maybe if the leagues, either Tim and Mark can give up a volunteer to be the park attendee, then maybe that's an option. So they're open to
They
it.
want free parking, they have to provide a volunteer
Yeah,
to
so
manage
I
it.
guess, I guess Sam can go now back to Tim and Mark and say, look, we're willing to give the refs and the coaches only, but somehow we don't want to overwhelm, our parking lot, because actually they are also moving, they're gonna start having, the church at the Gateway High School, because they're building a $5 million the church here, it's $5 million to redo it, yeah. So.
Rival our building.
I know, right? So I think at this point, we just pass it on to Sam. Sam can tell them, look, we're willing to let the refs and the coaches park, but you have to provide a park attendant. So I guess we can kind of came up with a solution for Mark and Tim.
Okay, So
If
we,
that
so we
works
want to
out.
deny this request and suggest
Does that
them
make sense, Bob?
refer back
Yeah, I'm okay with
to,
that.
refer back to the church and work it out amongst themselves.
I leaped it.
Yeah.
I was leaping ahead.
Okay.
Were you copying the email that Sam responded it?
No.
Did I
Yes,
yeah.
his response.
Would you forward that to Mark
Yeah,
and Tim and say,
Absolutely.
can you guys provide a
Yeah.
park attendee and go so forth? Yeah. Because he says the church would not,
he said that he already had their contact
He
information,
did,
but
yeah.
I'll reiterate
But
it.
at least we did our part,
And, I mean, the one area that I think, I would consider is really the referees. Because a lot of those they're high school kids.
I totally
They're
agree.
younger,
Me too.
and they're there for, could be 4 or 6 hours. That's just a longer duration.
Yeah, so let's see what Sam comes up with, because he was really fast on being able to respond to me. I'll forward the email to you and you can forward it to the entire board.
Okay. And then the only other thing I had about the parking was, I'm assuming, since this is kind of our stance, is if we had any events, non-residents would still pay the $2 an hour. Farmers market, you come to visit our farmers market, you're paying $2 an hour. Non-residents are paying, okay. Just to be clear. All right, I don't have anything else. Tony.
District,
So we said no.
Yep, said
Okay.
no,
No,
contracts.
but there's an opportunity to
for
work
the
it out
refs
with the
and
church.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you for bringing that larger, making it larger. The second item on there, Atlantic Pipe Services Contract Matters, that's what Chelsea was referencing before, and Eric mentioned it, actually, Eric mentioned it in his presentation with regards to the CCTV viewing and cleaning. We've had back and forth with the contractor since March, without getting into the weeds of the dispute, but there are issues with regards to the contractor asserting there are infield conditions and that differ substantially from the documents that were provided as the plan documents with regards to pipe sizing, location of pipes, location of inlets, non-existence of inlets, non-existence of pipes. And so there was one prior change order that was approved by both parties. There was another change order that was approved by the district, has not yet been approved by the contractor. And that change order would have changed the scope and I'll call it a reasonable engineering approach to the change order, and that has not been, but it also would change the completion date. The completion dates have not been abided by. We've had communications putting them on notice. They suspended work for a bit of time, and now it seems like they might be starting back up, but we're still in the posture of following up with a demand letter saying we have your most recent submittal as to discrepancies. We've reviewed it. Here's our response. And also indicating that you've missed the substantial completion and final completion date. And that letter's probably going to go out tomorrow. We don't know what will happen. My understanding, though, is that they have been out there. I'm not sure if they've been working, Chelsea, or just have crews out there since May 13th.
So are we using them fundamentally to tell us what our as-built are? Because we don't know.
No, my understanding was the contract was to use what we had and what we understood, and for them to clean it, view video and clean what was there. But
They're saying they're different. What they're doing is different than what we told them they'd find.
They are asserting that.
Well, I mean, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree with.
So,
If you think you're cleaning a 30-foot pipe that's 70 foot, and if you think it's 15 inches and it's 36 inches,
a lot of the noted discrepancies involve pipe size.
that's what I mean.
Yeah. So we're in the process of trying to work through that with staff, Tetra Tech, in our office, to try to get that on board, back on track. And if not, we may need to exercise some other remedies under the contract, and we'll keep the board apprised. Chelsea, anything else on that?
And we're going to update the GIS with whatever they say the
Yes.
pipes are and all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's already been in progress.
Yeah, that's as they submit it, that's what we're doing.
It's kind of a
Yep.
validation of our as-built.
Did I misstate anything, or?
No, you did not misstate.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm on board. Daniels Parkway.
Oh, wait a minute, before we leave it, are we fighting that in any way?
I don't want to get into more detail on that. We have some, again, a letter will go out tomorrow because we believe they are in breach of their contract. Because they suspended work. The contract does not allow them to suspend work if there is a dispute about payment. So I don't want to get any more into it because it's like a pre-litigation posture right
Okay, so
now,
then,
unfortunately.
if anything,
We can talk separately.
I was gonna say follow up with Bob.
Yeah.
Right.
Daniels Parkway, again, just working on, I have an easement I need to draft. I have it. I just need to finalize it and send it to them. They have the temporary construction easement to do the subsurface boring for the irrigation line. But Chelsea, have they sent that back yet or not? Have they executed that and sent it?
What is it?
The temporary construction easement?
No, I haven't even sent it back to you. It's in my court.
Okay.
I'm catching up.
It's been a couple of weeks.
It's been, yes.
No, a couple of weeks of a lot of work. is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, I
No,
thought you were
no.
saying that she.
Oh, no, I'm not, trust me, I'm not, it's been a couple of weeks of a lot of,
I was like,
no, it's been a couple of weeks of a lot
you
of
can say
stuff.
that if you want, Tony,
That's
we'll
come-
back you up.
No, seriously, it's been a lot on the staff and that they've had to handle that unexpected matters.
Good cover, Tony. Thank you.
No, it's true.
I know.
You know,
Trust me, I feel it.
I mean, we're having 7:30 Teams conference calls in the morning, so I mean,
Oh
that's
my
just.
God.
Oh, yeah. Santa Luz drains, downspouts. I mentioned, as I mentioned, I will be preparing, good suggestion by Chelsea. I'll do the revision, send it on to other council. Meter replacement, that's contract is signed and that's off and running. Park amenity operational guidelines, I need to finalize that review. I've meant to do it today, but it will be next week. Zenner letter, that termination letter, that's on non-renewal of the service agreement. So that is from November 1st. Otherwise, it would automatically renew. So that agreement's going away. Randy drafted it and I prepared edits.
We won't have the new installation done by then, will we?
By November 1st, I think that's the
For what?
new installation, new meters.
Will all the new meters be in by November
The
1st?
goal is to be a 5-month install, starting June 1st. June, July, August, September, October, November. Yes. That is,
Wow.
if not sooner, Bob. If not sooner.
She skipped a figure.
I did.
But it's November 1st, we're good.
I'm tired. I've been up since
On
4
the Devon Center
a.m.
Lakes, I'm still working through those documents. I got a little bit sidetracked again with the issue involving Atlantic Pipe Services. Public hearings, reviewed that, edited, sent that back to staff. That's the one we've just been talking about for the rates, fees, and charges. Wiser contract, that's, I think it's in Wiser's hands now,
It
and/or
is.
PPAC
Yep, it is.
to review. That's where the district vehicle for road
It's
and
out front
patrol
if
be
you wanna see
utilized
it.
by people as appropriate.
There's nothing controversial about that. Everybody's heading the same way. It's just doing it.
Yeah, and the shared use agreement, Chelsea's waiting for the school board to get back. Policies and procedures manual, I have everybody's comments and inputs in. So I guess the question is, when do we when do we want to have that considered?
August?
Public
January.
meeting, just a public meeting to adopt it.
January.
For what? For what?
For the
Policies and
policies and procedures, second meeting in June, July.
Well, I would.
Don't want to do it before the
August.
budget.
Get past
What's-
budget.
After
August
budget.
or September, then September.
After budget.
Then September.
Get past budgeting.
September?
September.
If you pick a date in September, then we're good.
Got 2 options.
And then we're, working, do you have any more coffee this afternoon?
I need a second energy drink.
C40, and then talking with Chelsea a lot on the FPL issue, and again, finding out that line was a long time ago.
Okay.
The most recent Florida transmission siting act transmission line approvals from FPL going from the Orange River plant to Collier County involve a different corridor than this one. They call this a common right-of-way. And that was, in fact, that alternative route was approved back in '03 and '04 to run. And they the easements were from 64 and from 72 and.
Claudia, do you want to
So
take?
Tony, is there anything that, I mean, it's obviously their property, they can run it,
It's our property, but it's encumbered by their easement.
right? And they can within those boundaries that they have, they can basically do whatever they want to do.
They
right?
can-
Whatever they're required under what's the specification of the easement.
But
I guess.
is there any acceptable relief type thing?
Well, I think one thing,
So, in other words,
We have a gotcha.
no. Is there something we could ask of them? Like, if their line is going to come within N number of feet of a residence, do they have to leave at least, I don't know, 3 trees deep underneath the line or something? Or
yeah, I'm not aware of any.
have to do a landscaped buffer?
They probably had the right of way before the house was built.
It did.
That's the problem.
I'm sure
I
they
know.
did.
Yeah, if you look at,
But I'm just saying, in other cases, is there anything people can ask for?
well, this is different than a lot of other cases because it's not a new easement. It's not a new approval. So it hasn't gone through the process that was initiated when Florida adopted the Transmission Plant Siting Act and the Transmission Line Siting Act, the Power Plant Siting Act, where the governor and cabinet sit as a siting board. And you have all the agencies that are involved, whether it's Water Management District, DEP, and they all are involved in looking at the proposed routes and analyzing. And then the various property owners along the way have the opportunity to participate in administrative hearing. But that's a relatively, I'll call it last 20 years kind of phenomena. It did not exist back in the day when this right-of-way was established. What we talked about, Chelsea, and whether or not there are any South Florida Water Management District permits out there that would regulate what they can do as far as any wetlands and/or water management areas, but I'm not aware of any yet. I've been looking in South Florida's files.
So is there anything we can ask for?
We can ask for a lot, but.
You can ask for anything.
But the problem is the easements are they're called rights of way in one, and they're very powerful as far as the powers that they have, the ability to have electric transmission and distribution lines. I mean, it's pretty comprehensive, which is typical of power line easements.
So let me just go with this. Would it be a fair statement reaching out to, because I'm still confused of who's representing the HOA, who's representing an owner, who's speaking on behalf of what? I think it would be appropriate for us to reach out to the president of the HOA and say, look, we're here to aid you because we own the land, but however, what exactly that you want that we're gonna take forward and we're gonna blast whatever you want. You come up with what the solution is. We're gonna blast the solution and then you and I will go to FPL and we ask for it. Because that's what we said we're gonna do from the
And
get-go.
maybe Tallahassee.
Well, I think what may also need to happen is, and I forwarded to Chelsea, the chairman of the Public Service Commission, Gabriella.
Whatever we have
She
to
needs
reach
to be
out to.
informed and notified.
But I think at
The
this
Public Service
point,
Commission needs to know, because they regulate.
I think at this
utilities.
point, it would be best, and I can reach out to the president and say, look, you have your own town hall meeting with your residents, right? You're gonna have 100 different ideas. Give us a summary of the 20. We'll blast the 20 because we're, whatever they say, we're gonna say yes to it because they're right there. We'll take that in partnership with them to FPL and to whoever entity we have to go with, and that's where we go. We can just walk with them side by side. I wanna make sure that's what we said we're gonna do from the get-go. But they need to tell us exactly what you want, because then you have Mary saying one thing.
I don't want them to come back and say, well, don't do it, because we can't stop that.
Well, exactly, and so that's what I'm saying. All we're gonna be
So,
doing is
all we-
helping them to get organized because they are not. Okay, that's plain simple, they're not. One
Whether
is
it's
going
utility
one way,
commission or
one is
legislators
going
or
another
whoever.
way.
Right.
So I guess the guidance that we can give them is, look, have your town hall meeting with your residents. Have your residents give the input on what you guys want. Give us a summary, and then we can, simultaneously work with who do you
And
gonna reach
Flavia,
out
when they
to.
have that, I would suggest they have their state legislators invited.
Yes.
We need to
We
get the
give
political
them-
horses
we give
behind
them,
it.
we give them
Some
well,
clues.
guidance, but they have to do that
It's
work.
theirs,
And
right.
so I guess that's what I want to work for.
But get our reps in the meeting.
Flavia,
Okay.
so.
I do want to touch in some other things
Can-
regarding
can-
this, yes.
Can I
Time's
take
up.
2 minutes and just go? Because I have been living and breathing this since that letter got here. And I have detailed a timeline.
That's what I was going to ask you to go over, okay.
So, just because this has spent an exorbitant amount of
Can
my
you put that in
time,
the computer? Because that would be beneficial for them to see it.
I just want to summarize it at
Okay.
this point because it is a
Okay.
lot of information. So I have put together a timeline that I've ran up the FPL chain because, like everybody else, I was getting no information. 16 different dates I have, and I have communicated from late February to, as of yesterday, an hour telephone call with uppers that be at FPL as to what's going on, what's the project, I need answers, so on and so forth. So it's not that I've been sitting here like a bump on a log and not doing anything. Any emails that have come in, I have passed along to Tiffany and Tina, who are the designated faces of this project at FPL. I have since gone up to Charlotte Miller, who is the External Affairs Director, who was just in Pelican yesterday, 2 days ago, doing a presentation at the golf club, escalated it to her to where I've finally gotten some response from other folks. So on 16 different 16 different dates, I have been in contact with these folks. Now, from a gateway operational concern, if you recall, we have a force main and irrigation main redundancy project that is proposed to go down that FPL easement that took us over 3 years to get a consent agreement approved. That consent agreement, my biggest concern with that project is that it is going to conflict with their proposed line. So we have gone above and beyond and provided our CAD files to FPL so they can deconflict with their proposed line. I don't know if they're at 0% design, 30% design, 60, wherever they're at, because they have not shared that information with me. Now, deductive reasoning tells me the little bit of work that I see out there, they've done They've done which excavation, utility excavation. They've done some clear cut. They're doing some due diligence on this project. I know enough of how a project is ran that they are in the preliminary stages. That's not a surprise. I'm not getting the information from them. I continue to take this up the chain. I've asked Tony to get involved to the sense that I understand we are not going to stop this project. We may be the only reason we're having this conversation right now as being the owner of the land is because we took it over less than 2 years ago. Remember those straggler parcels that we took on? This was part of it. So up until then, it was under WCI Lennar's domain until the district took it over. So that is the biggest surprise, really. We just started going out there and cleaning up the actual FPL easement, the linear park itself. So I have been advocating for us as a utility provider, but our residents, and reducing the impact that it is going to have with clear cutting that easement. Because they have the right to do that, is my understanding with how that easement is written. Now, to Tony's point, are there other opportunities? Can we ask for anything? Yeah, we can ask for anything. Every communication that has come through, I have forwarded on to the Doyle Land Group, who is labeled on that letter. I have a point of contact with FPL now that has told me they are my point of contact. Anything I have, I need to run through them. I have told them we have demanded a town hall. Our people want a town hall. We'll host it. We'll coordinate it. We'll do whatever, as long as you come into our community and you tell us what the heck's going on. They have not denied that, but they also have not accepted that. They said, we're so preliminary right now, we're not ready to have that. What they have offered, which is a very small limb of an olive branch, is to set up an email inbox specifically for this project that will give our residents a place to go to directly, on top of the already existing Tina and Tiffany Turner from Doyle Land Group, who have been out knocking on doors trying to educate everybody that's going to be impacted. So from March to now, I have spent a lot of time. That is for a project that is not even Gateway's project. So I have advocated for what I call the carrot top method of chopping anything 14 feet and over. I have advocated for permits. I want to see their permits. I've sent them a list of questions that I've got from residents that I have myself. We know that the land development code and zoning, that's out the window because they are a utility. They are here to provide utility services, power to this community. What we've gotten back as pushback from our residents is Gateway is the owner of the land. How the heck do you not know what's going on? And truthfully, I got the same notice. You all got the same notice. They all got the same notice.
We didn't get the notice, just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, Gateway got the notice.
I don't think none of us got the notice. Yeah. I know what you mean.
We have the notice, right? And so, no pun intended, we're still somewhat in the dark. Do I have answers to everything? No. Am I still advocating for answers to things? Yes. It seems like we're being caught in the crosshair because we're the only ones responding to our residents. But Flavia, to your point, I agree with that method of having their communities get organized, Stony Brook and Hampton, because it seems like those are the biggest two impacted. But I fear the response is, well, Gateway's still the owner. It's your problem. Figure it out.
But then we can only go so far in educating them. Like, we can't force it down. I mean, if they're unable to see that 1 + 1 = 2, then I'm sorry, we have other projects that we have to work on, which is under our fiduciary to move forward with.
Either way.
Another point there too, when you're talking to legislators and you're talking to commissioners like the Public Service Commission, they don't mind listening to local governments, but the constituents are what they'll pay more attention to, the individuals.
Because the volume on
Get them
who's
in the
voting
meeting.
for, who's voting for them.
Get
them in the meeting.
5 votes. There's 500 votes.
That's right, there's a difference. So you have.
Get them in the meeting.
You have two powerful state senators that cover Lee County, Ben Albritton and Kathleen Pasadomo. And Kathleen Pasadomo's daughter is chairman of the Public Service Commission. So, but that group, right, the residents need to cohesively, that's what I think,
Right,
give them the
petition
resources.
them.
They need to say, we have 500, 600 people who are being impacted. FPL is not listening to anything, as opposed to, we are the Gateway Services District, please pay attention. I mean, it does have a more dramatic effect.
But I think they have to be willing to listen, to understand, not listen to rebuttal, because given the communication that I've been, and maybe the rest of the board has not been, didn't see it, but I have, it's your fault, Gateway. It's exactly what Chelsea's saying. You own the land. How dare you not know what's going on in your own land? And how dare you not to go over there and rope everything off and don't allow FPL to come in? That's really what they want.
That's the problem.
And
Can't do that.
it's not that. So we can guide them.
And
We'll
facilitate
continue
it,
to
yes.
leave this door open. We'll guide them, but they have to run with it. And
In
they
a
have to
unified manner.
understand that and that's what I mean about they have to come up with 100 and down to 20 and down to God knows exactly what they want. But they have to be educated and they have to know how to ask for those things and they have to know that they have more power than we do when it comes to that, because it's about quantity of voters.
Yeah,
versus the
and,
five of
and,
us.
and our approach always is whenever you're talking to a governmental body or an agency or an entity like that, you may have 20 items you want. And you have 20 that are, 10 that are critical, 5 that are okay, 5 are tossaways. Focus on the 10. You may have a list of 20, but you narrow it down to the critical
Well,
components.
and
But again, so here's
need
my
to.
thing. Tony is our attorney, so this is, we can give them guidance, but their attorney should be giving them this guidance. That's what they're spending the money on. So again, I think we have given them everything. The gentleman that was here, I was extremely surprised and beyond disappointed that was the vice president from Hampton Park. He was on the news. He had the biggest opportunity to engage with us, given that we had dialogue with everyone that came in. And he said nothing and he left. So to me, that speaks volume. How much are you willing to absorb? You came to the meeting, you sat there, you didn't sign up for it, you didn't talk. And it's not like we came up with a solution in the first 45 minutes that we talked about this. So
Well, and I want to be clear, the only reason that I've asked Tony to get engaged in this matter is to protect the district's assets. And the district we are the operating entity of the conservation area, the wetland over here by Silver Lakes, and some of these areas down the FPL easement. So, and then obviously from an enforcement standpoint, where do we have an Achilles heel with our other regulatory agencies? You all know better than I do that we don't necessarily have the enforcement capabilities that our other regulatory agencies have. Now, can we be aware? Can we let them know, hey, this occurred, this was not at our doing, we had no knowledge of this? Yes. Now, what unfortunately is happening is Gateway is getting caught in the crosshairs with these residents and given arbitrary deadlines of demanding town halls and access being denied to communities because we're not being responsive enough.
Tony, do they have to get permits to go into that wetland?
They probably, first, let's tell you, we need to find out what current permits exist and what the constraints are. And if they are going into those wetlands, and if that was not part of any original approval they had many years ago, they probably would. That's the question is, when was that corridor approved and
we
what were
have
the conditions
wetlands on
of
that
that approval?
side. I don't think we do. We have a dry, wet detention area, but that is not a wetland, so that it doesn't qualify of being, all the wetland and it's in the opposite side.
Again, this is not as cut and dry because of the homework we have to do of when that was originally granted.
Vis-a-vis our permits that we have for that area.
What's
I
out
get
there?
that, but why looking at wetland
yeah.
restrictions where
yeah.
there is no wetland in that particular area?
Because when we had to, with our force main and irrigation main redundancy project, because the funding source we're seeking for the grant is federal dollars, we had to provide a notice of a nationwide permit or a no requirement of a nationwide Army Corps permit of that wetland area.
Yeah, the entire area.
So if I am held to that standard,
Why aren't they?
why aren't
Well, and
they?
again,
That's my point.
but the difficulty is, when was that transmission line approved and what were the criteria? Because again, if you go fast forward to the Transmission Line Siting Act, and you go through, and the volumes are, I mean, 'cause I've been bombarding
Yes.
Chelsea with some of what I've been finding, the more recent.
They can't go too far out on a limb acting like they've done something when they tell us they don't have any plans.
No, what I'm saying
They
is, though,
can't go too far out on that limb.
And going through those old files, which are tens of thousands of pages, and again, they involve Army Corps, DEP in South Florida, and they talk about mitigation banks impacting wetlands. So that's under that current regulatory scheme. And again, what it was back in the day when this was originally approved is one thing we need to determine if we can. And secondly, what permits do we hold or possess as the operating entity for that area that may address that area? That's one thing we need to pin down.
And
for
to Ed,
ourselves.
to your point, getting an answer out of them of what their plans are, I still haven't gotten that answer. Again, deductive reasoning, I think generally we know they've said it's a 500 kilowatt line that's going to go in parallel on this side, but they haven't told us where. We know they've clear cut certain spots. We know that they've done so I continue to push up the FPL chain. We're going to engage with the Public Service Commission because that is the top of the line. That's who they answer to, just like I answer to you. So it's not that we're not pushing, it's we're hitting the same wall that they're hitting. Do we have an existing consent agreement that's at stake? Yes. Do we have our residents that are abutting it that are, going to see a change? Yes. But at what point do we dig through all these documents and say they have the right to do this regardless if we...
That's
And
the point.
that's the point.
And I think you take this to a politician, and a politician, FPL, says, hey, here's our agreement. We have the right to do what we're doing. That politician is going to disappear.
Oh, and again,
He's
that's
not going to get out there in front of the public and have to tell them
Yeah.
they can do it. He's
That's
not gonna
that's
do it.
disappointing. I don't disagree with you.
He's
But I'm
not gonna
hoping
do
they're
it.
going to have more.
I don't think a
chutzpah.
politician will touch this with a 10-foot pole.
So what's happened in the interim is Hampton Park has taken a hard stance, and I just want to briefly go over this.
We just got a huge email, just so you know.
Okay, well, Hampton Park has taken a hard stance that I, as your district manager in Gateway, we have not done our job. They have turned off all of our transponders to Hampton Park, which that's okay, as long as, we have access to our easements. This is not the first time that they've done this, but we are entitled to access our utility easements and our maintenance easements.
Fighting the wrong person.
For all the things in Hampton Park. So ultimately, Flavia, to your point earlier, that's a disservice to their residents, especially if there are multiple lift stations in there that in a lightning storm lose power and sewage goes everywhere, then, DEP has to be called in and raw sewage is flowing if we can't promptly respond. So they're doing a disservice to their own
In
residents.
deep doo-doo.
Exactly. So we're doing what we have to do to continue to move forward is my point in bringing this to Europe, because there has been a lot of rumblings behind the scenes. There's been a lot of finger pointing. As much as I try to tell residents that, hey, this is not our project, this is an FPL project, these are the people you need to contact, we're all hitting the same wall.
Has Hampton Park, have they engaged their attorney?
I have no idea.
I'm not.
Okay.
No, they engaged way back when on the FOBs.
The follow-up thing. So I will say this, it is 6:30, and while I'd love to sit here and talk a little about this, I'll just highlight on this. So staff was actually, we just got an email from staff. They were going to the lift station on, Laura, you want to read it instead of Chelsea?
Where is it? I
Yeah.
They're going someplace they don't have a transponder to get in.
Is it the long one?
No,
You
the
don't
short
want?
one. The
Oh.
long one is, I'll read it, but.
I can read it.
What short one?
The short one about staff at the.
Oh,
That one,
okay. Yes. So
for the record. So the residents are aware of what we're trying to do.
yes, this.
So this came from Andrew, who is one of our utility field techs. Isaac and I were going to look at station number 6. We tried going through the back entrance, but our transponder did not work. And when we reversed, a blue Lexus pulled up on the side of the truck and rolled the window down. I rolled my window down to talk to him, and he asked if we were with GSCDD. I said, yes, we're we are here, and then told me we are now required to go through the front. I asked why, and he said that's what happens when, in quotes, Chelsea pisses people off and is a bitch. And it said nothing against us, the employees. I said, oh, okay. And that's when Isaac overheard and talked to him and re-explained what he just said to me and then drove off through the back entrance.
Who was the person that drove off?
Yov Diamond, who is their vice president, who is here today.
He was the one who talked to the staff?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's what I was trying to find out.
Yes.
So then again, to my point, and I was really hoping that he would stay. So to then if people left, he would have full soul floor and we could engage and guide him, because that's all we can do is guide him, right? But he decided to leave. I just forwarded a huge email.
Can't
It's
even
probably-
sign in.
Which is a huge email. I forwarded to Tony just now. I just started reading it, and it's skimming through it. Pretty much says he was here, and we not willing to listen. We really don't care about the residents, and so forth and so forth. So no matter what we do, please know that that's what you're gonna expect. Okay?
Well, the people of Hampton Park deserve better.
They do. They absolutely deserve better.
If there's an issue, they need.
Hopefully they're listening.
They need leaders
Yeah.
that are going to understand the situation, be knowledgeable, work with our staff, not just do these petty things and then make
Personal
assumptions.
attacks,
So anyway, I'm very disappointed.
The word is disappointed, to say the least.
Yeah, I talked to Justin Crucial, and I told him, tell this guy to cool his jets. We're trying to get a solution. We just found out about this also.
If they're that.
just don't wanna-
If they're that concerned, engage your attorney, see what legal options you have as an HOA and a community entity outside of what the district is doing.
Right.
That would.
Put your money where your mouth is.
It may be that
as-
they have done that, and he told them you don't have any.
Maybe so.
As
but-
a
Which means
Oh.
then they don't have any way to
Then
go.
I just want to mention, I did mention this to a couple residents, and I believe I've told them, Hampton Park has a common element around their entire parcel that they could choose to do whatever they want on their own property.
Which I mentioned this.
Well, that's the
Which-
buffer between them and the FPL.
Yes.
Which I mentioned this, the first meeting that the ladies here, thank you for bringing this up. Bring this up to your HOA so you guys can come up with a plan too. So everybody's planning, but again, I'm extremely disappointed is an understatement. And a disservice, like Doug said, to the residents by acting in such matter.
But they want to make it look like they're doing something. And
Oh,
all
hold
they're
our feet
doing
to
is
the fire.
stirring the pot, is all they're doing.
Yeah, but they're interfering, if they're refusing to allow access to our easement, if there's if our easement is in that area where the gate was that was locked, and they made them go all the way around, then they're interfering with our easement, because.
We do have an easement there? So Tony, would you
if you can
help guide it?
If you can
Tell us
send-
in a few
Yeah,
emails?
if you can send me that. I mean,
I did.
Arguably, the whole idea about if you go to the front gate, their argument is if you go to the front gate and you get held up for 3 to 4 minutes, it's not interfering because we're letting you go through. But if they were saying, no, you cannot come here at all, they're interfering with our easement rights.
That's a whole different ballgame.
In my opinion. Yeah, because again, the response time, it's kind of like an ambulance. You want an ambulance to come to a back gate and they say, no, you're a jackass.
Let's act like
we're mad at
adults.
you. Go to the front gate,
So that is something I am dealing with as an aside, on top of everything else going on within the district, so.
Why you get the big bucks?
Yeah, thank
Big
you.
increase you got.
Yeah. So I won't go over agenda management and because of time.
Okay, so
But
the
I
only thing
did
that-
add-
the only
I
thing that we
did
added, Carol's
the noise banner.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
made sure I wrote it down too.
All right, guys.
It's late, let's go.
Thank you. 6:30.
You don't want to supervise the comments and reports if there was a.
Carol?
Yes,
See, I knew.
how did you know? Last meeting, we had your, I was going to say appraisal, but what do you call it?
Performance.
Performance review. And you were going to establish some goals that you're going to work forward to for this year. I was wondering if you would accept the opportunity to put another goal in there, and that would be to develop I would be looking at a 3-year program whereby at the beginning of the 2030 year, so October 1st of 2029, I'll just call them the fields, would where we would have income that would meet or exceed the costs of the fields.
Put a plan in place.
Put a plan, a 3-year plan. I don't think you can do it in any less than 3 years.
I don't think you can do it in
Because at some
5, but-
point, you're going to probably be, I don't know, digging up dirt or whatever the plan is.
Starting 10/1/29 or ending 10.
Ending, so that when you start the 2030 budget year, we would have in place revenue that would meet or exceed expenses.
We can put a plan. That it happens is a different thing, but I can put a plan. Yes, I
Yeah.
can add that to the list.
With big slides.
Well, you know, if you can do metering, you can do this.
Let me get through metering first.
No, you're almost there. That's all I had.
Nothing? Nothing.
We didn't discuss it today, but I know that PPAC said they didn't approve the staff gauges. You need any more from anybody on that?
I do. The board needs to make a decision on that.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we support the PPAC proposal, that Pelican is excluded from the staff gauge project.
I'll second your motion. No discussion?
There will be minor cost incurred to date just for the acquisition of the staff gauges, but
They shouldn't have bought them without approval.
they did receive approval from the pond subcommittee.
I was gonna
Yes.
say, the approval was granted first.
The
Okay,
board,
that's secondary.
the-
So there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I want to just add, so the board knows, you pushed it back to the pond subcommittee. The pond subcommittee approved it. It was a divide, I believe it was a divide of
3-2.
3-2. They approved it. It went up to PPAC. PPAC rejected it 7-0
Unanimously.
unanimously, and that's why it is back in your court, because it is your budget as a whole.
I don't care if they don't do it in their ponds, but the flowway, I definitely want.
The
to
shared
do it.
flowway is
Yeah,
done.
it's just
If that's,
Pelican.
yeah.
That's why I seconded.
The
Just
flowway
Pelican.
definitely has to be done.
It was those 5 extra that were Pelican only that
Okay.
they're not gonna do.
Okay, so we have a motion by Bob, I second, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye.
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 All right.
The last thing, since Carol prompted me on setting goals, may not be timely, but I still believe we ought to have a time management system. That in 15-minute increments, when our staff is used for things, they keep track of it. I would love to see that.
Need timesheets?
Whatever the system is, like an attorney does when he bills people.
You'd have to come up with phase and task codes
Well,
and list it
Cost
for
for the
each
system itself.
department.
Yeah.
Do what?
And time loss for tracking and,
whatever,
yeah.
yeah. I think there'd be some
Yeah,
value in
but
that.
I mean, that can be done, everybody has a cell phone, so it can be an app, so there'll be a cost for an app, I mean, I don't think that
Not everybody
necessarily-
has a cell phone.
No.
That's
Well,
not- But
well,
not,
then
it's
there'll be a co-
minutia.
But then there'll be a cost for everybody to acquire a cell phone. so
Just
everybody can
come up with by department phase and task
Yeah.
codes and be done with it.
And I don't think the Gateway side needs it, I think that's a Pelican needed, so there'll be a Pelican, if, get the app, they clock in, clock out,
Where we might need it is to differentiate soccer from everything
Enterprise,
else.
Park and Rec, right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be valuable to us, that's all.
I'm, that,
Look into it,
I'm throwing that out as a goal for
yeah,
you next year.
look into it.
That you
a
can-
goal, a
you
goal
can
for
develop something.
implementation
think
or
that-
a goal?
I think what I would
Develop
look,
it.
I think what I would look at is the viability and efficiency of time management in a similar environment. Where is it advantageous? Where is it a waste of time? What is the value?
That's on how detailed you go into that plan.
So, I
You
mean,
can do we did this years ago. We'd come into phase and task codes and subtask codes. When you went to fill out your timesheet, you had to have a sheet about 6 inches wide
yeah.
to put the code numbers in.
that's what I'm saying, under current
Don't go
day's
crazy.
conditions and technology, what entities are clocking their time?
Well, I'd be looking to see what you're trying to, what's the end all be all? What are you trying to track? Like, I'd push it back to.
We have
to-
resources.
It would set,
How
it
do-
would
how
set,
do-
it would do
how are
nothing
the
more than allow you
resources
to set
used?
and differentiate your cost categories for labor.
Yeah, it would
That's
be,
about
it
all
would,
it would do.
I understand, but like, I want to be clear that your request, like, you're going to want a different time management than he's going to want. Because for me, utilities is utilities. I don't care how you cut it. They're out of
agree.
the enterprise
I
fund.
agree.
but everything else, what's the detail? So I can put that together, but I'd rather you give me what is it you're looking for.
Put something together and I'll come and talk to you about it.
But what she's trying to say is, what do you want tracked? Because from a Pelican
I'm just spend more
perspective, what do
time
you,
tracking
just
all the
anything,
time.
any
All right,
any
here's
time
something
that's
simple.
allocated to
How
Pelican where
much
they
of
have to pay a
Georgia
percentage
Johnson's
of?
time
Departments.
is devoted exclusively to
I call
Pelican
the city or the
versus
county
everything
and
else?
just get a copy of what their timesheets look like and be done with it.
Well, they're not gonna have it, so
They
all
clock
you're
in and
gonna do.
out and that's it. Yeah,
They
they don't
clock in and
track.
out.
Yeah.
that I'll tell you.
So I would have
Okay,
clocked
I'm
out
sorry,
at,
Bob, what was that you said?
Well, as an example, Georgia, how much of her time is devoted to which account? 01, 02, enterprise, whatever. Same thing with Paul. How much of his time is devoted to these different accounts? We're paying right now 17% or something.
Yep.
And maybe that's underpaid. And it might be grossly overpaid.
Motion to adjourn.
If she's okay with that, yeah.
Oh, she took that direction.
Okay.
For next year, she's gonna look into what the stuff is.
as a goal.
Yeah.
Great.